All right. So it's good that you guys are from Africa because I always meet like a lot of Africans, and they always say Black Americans don't know where they come from, like all the time. And I'm like, yo, bro, why you like? Where does this come from? Why did it? Where does this statement come from?
That's true. And at the moment, something interesting is happening in Ghana, where the president it's actually giving chance to people outside Ghana to come and have free citizenship. So it's a way to attract you people back to Ghana. So we wish that
That's our root, but we're not from. But we're not from Africa.
you're from Africa.
Why do you think we're from Africa?
Oh, you know the slave trade,
Huh?
The white people brought you guys as a slave, and your ancestors, lived there.
That's not true.
What's the difference between you and me now?
Know about slavery, but few discuss paper genocide. We did not all come from Africa, and most of us have Aboriginal roots that were stripped away due to reclassification and miseducation. As a native Black American and a member of the Muskogee Creek Nation, I understand the importance of tracing your lineage. If you want to learn how to trace your genealogy and apply for tribal citizenship, go to nativeblackancestry.com to schedule a consultation.
They don't want you to remember this. You not no slave, you indigenous. Fuck how they painted them Indians. You went to war with the French and them British men. Quite frankly, you was kings Merovingians. They took the women and men, made them prisoners, raised up the children to worship their images, set up a lab to the genes and they mixed them, and this shit get way deeper than your pigment.
All right. Let me get some feathers in the chat if you can hear me loud, crisp, and clear. I'm going to go ahead and get this party started. We got Africans with good intentions still kind of sort of showing their ass and talking reckless. What did these Africans just say? The white man brought you to America as a slave. No, playboy. Most of us have Aboriginal roots, for one. For two, you know how the African is quick to talk reckless and disrespectful, talking about the white man brought us here as a slave, but they neglect to acknowledge their role in the transatlantic slave trade, right? It's called a trade, motherfucker. It wasn't a mass invasion. The white man never snuck into Africa and stole Africans. Africans freely captured their fellow African and sold them to Europeans as slaves for trinkets. Absolute trinkets, mirrors, gunpowder, the most frivolous of things. And they expect us to fall for their year of return, come back and get free citizenship scams. No, y'all just want our American dollars over there in your shithole third world country.
So it's a way to attract you people back to Ghana. So we wish that
That's our root, but we're not from. But we're not from Africa.
you're from Africa.
Why do you think we're from Africa?
Oh, you know the slave trade,
Huh?
The white people brought you guys as a slave, and your ancestors, lived there.
That's not true.
What's the difference between you and me now?
Oh, the difference. What's the difference between me and you? The difference is I'm mixed with a lot of different things. You're from Africa. You're strictly from Africa.
Mm-hmm.
I'm mixed with a lot of different things. I have a lot of different bloodlines, lineages inside of me. Yeah. So at the same time, also, I know my history when it comes down to documentation of where my lineage is. Yeah. You have it. A lot of you guys don't know how far can you go back in your lineage?
No, we can.
No, you can't. I'm gonna tell you why you can't. Because the census.
Yeah.
Like Africa never.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the census. The United States created their first census in 1790. A lot of these Africans don't even have birth certificates that predate the 1960s. A lot of these Africans can't tell you who their great-great-great-great-grandparent is. is, but I presented official findings to a genealogy client earlier today, and we were able to trace her genealogy to the 1700s. Goddamn. Goddamn. Let's talk about it. These Africans are quick to tell us where we come from, but they ain't even got no paperwork on themselves. All of them running around saying their birthday is January 1st because they don't even know what day they were born. They keep no records.
Never documented the people that were in Africa. So a lot of people, no. So Ghana's first census was in 1891. Type in America's first census. It's good educational.
Yeah.
USA's first census. So your first census, or when your government documented your parents' parents, was in 1891. First time they ever did it. Census. 1790. Yeah. So when we sit down and say, like, what makes you different? It's like, well, I got documentation that goes all the way back to 1790 about where my lineage has been. You guys stop at 1891.
But that is just like 100 years difference. Yeah, 100 years difference.
But that makes a lot.
Yeah, but looking at your population and all that, and looking at Ghana, we're just around 30 million. And looking at US, I guess you around 150 plus million and all that, you know. So it means looking at the time we started, we have even done well because we are not that much. So if you...
No, you guys have not done well. We're not going to allow you to try to twist the numbers, twist the narrative. So this African is trying to say, well, the U.S. has a larger population than Ghana, so we're doing pretty good considering our population is so small. But they're not acknowledging that Ghana is one out of dozens of African countries on a whole African continent. Y'all have a whole continent that's yours, that you have been on for thousands of years since the beginning of time. And you're going to try to say, well, but Ghana has 30 million and the US has 100 million. What are you talking about? You guys have billions of Africans on your whole African continent. Stop it. Stop the deflection. I don't want to hear it.
Want to do a raw estimation without conducting a proper census with that population in 1890. I think that was good. But look at the US, there are a lot of you.
Yeah.
A lot of you. So if the first one started in 1790 and you guys did not actually conduct any proper census till then, it means that, you know,
I mean, there are people who are past who are not documented.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
And although the first United States Census was in 1790, they have been reclassifying Black Indians into African and Negro and other misnomers since 1682. Guys, Virginia passed 2 acts in 1682 that combined Native Americans and Africans into one category, Negroes. Wait a minute, hold up. If they're reclassifying Native Americans as Negroes in 1682, then that tells us a couple of things, doesn't it? I think that definitely tells us a couple of things. For one, if we're supposed to believe that the American Indians look like this, look like some Asiatic Mongols, right? Some Jackie Chan looking motherfuckers, right? If they look like Jet Li, then how do you reclassify Jet Li into a Negro and lump him into the same category of as an African? You can't do that. Their phenotype is vastly different. It's not going down. But if the American Indian looks like this, oh, I could see how you can reclassify this into an African. Yeah, I can see how you can reclassify her into an African. She got some melanin, phenotype a little similar with the wide nose or whatever, but you can't reclassify this into an African. You can't label this a Negro. So what does it tell us? One of two things. The American Indians were richly melanated, i.e. Black folks, for one. For two, if we're going to look throughout the historical text, you know, I'm not even going to get to that one. I'm going to save that one for a later day. I'm going to save that gem for the folks that schedule the one-on-one personalized genealogy consultations with me. But guys, this tells us one of two things. They're reclassifying Native Americans into Negroes in 1682. If you're going to do that, then the phenotype of the American Indian must have been a black person. If you're going to lump them into the same group as an African, for one. For two, if the US Census, the first one was 1790, and they're reclassifying us in 1682, that means they were reclassifying us for damn near 100 years before the first census even came out. Do the math, guys. They're reclassifying us with Negro misnomers in 1682. First US Census is until 1790. So that tells us that even the first US Census is erroneous. It's bullshit. 90 plus years of racial reclassification before they even start taking count. And that's why, for any of you that have visited my new website, nativeblackancestry.com, the first thing I show you on the homepage is a timeline of the racial reclassification of Native Black Americans. 1492, they start calling us Indian. 1682, they start calling us Negro. 1851, they start calling us colored. 1960, they label us black. 1988, we become African American. Oh, yes. It gets deep. It gets deep.
Before the 1790,
Yeah.
what was happening?
Yeah.
People were living.
Yeah.
Where did that people came from?
All right, first of all, let's just clarify something. So the statement that you say is, go back to your roots. You know, you're from Africa. So can we agree that they say everybody in the world is from Africa?
No, that's not true.
It's not.
Yeah,
So it's not.
it's not true that everybody in the world is from Africa.
Not
But
everybody.
most black people are from Africa
Why is it only specific to black people?
because most Africans are black.
Yeah, but does that mean that all black people are
No,
African?
most. It's not all black people, but I mean there is a lineage to that.
Yeah. Lineage.
Yeah, there is a lineage to that.
But-
Right, because most black people are seen to come from Africa.
But why do they always assume that Americans are from Africa?
Not particularly Americans. You know, we have Americans who are white,
European American.
European American. You see how you are African American.
No, I'm black American.
but you know, I think it's basically because of your color.
So the color.
The color, because that can be traced back from Africa.
Not
But
true.
All in all, I think if you look at the history of what we call the continental plates and all that,
Yeah.
once in time we were all together.
Pangea.
Yeah, we're all together. So whether you're from Africa, you're from where, that history tells us that we're all within a specific geographic location until time that we all actually
Separated off.
separated and all that.
I like the point that you made. You said the color, because we can all understand that this is a mutation because of the sun and the rays. It gave us more melanin, right? But in America, we have Nevada, which is a desert as well, and California, which is very hot as well. Miami, which is very hot as well. A southern side of America, which can also mutate people.
Yeah, these Africans are tripping. These Africans are tripping. Oh, Lord, these Africans are tripping. And Twin says, y'all are tripping. You shouldn't care if they like you or not. The point is not that we care whether or not they like us. The point is that a people who some of us have been brainwashed into thinking we had some kind of shared lineage with, people who we've given billions of dollars to through Save the Children, We Are the World, Red Cross, White Rice Foundation type shit that we've been doing since the 80s. And it's just surprising to learn that they have such disdain for us, that they try to publish such thwarted versions of our history, that these Africans have fled to Europe and they're in Europe publishing misinformation about us, talking about all of us come from Africa. All of us were slaves that the white man brought over. Oh, you have black skin, so that means that you have to be from Africa. Well, then why do I have Spanish paintings of Indians at California missions and I see black people here? Before the transatlantic slave trade, we have Spanish conquistadors documenting black folks in the Americas. But these Africans are in Europe talking about we all come from Africa. So again, we don't care like that. It's just weird. And it's something that we have to stay cognizant of, because a lot of these Africans, if they're not fleeing to Europe, they're fleeing to America. And when they flee to America, they cosplay as us. We just did a whole live stream last week about an African YouTuber who has a whole business selling courses and packages, trying to teach people, trying to teach African migrants how to cosplay as Black Americans. And y'all know me as the king of receipts, so let me run that receipt one time.
Specific video, I'm actually going to teach you how to speak hood. This is part 2. The first phrase is, what it do. What it do. That's how you would say it. The emotion of anger. I'm going to give you a couple of phrases that conveys the emotion of anger. Sweet. That's all you is, boy. You sweet. You sweet, boy. What's good? Now in hood, the pronunciation would be, what's good? But then if I say, bro, you tripping, dog? My tone and my voice completely brings out a...
Yeah, the point is our culture is under attack. African migrants are committing heinous crimes and trying to blend into our demographic, our community, our culture. So if you don't know, now you know.
Skin based on, so when you say just because of the color, it's like Africa, they got Indians who have darker complexion than us, you know. Caribbeans.
Yeah, but I think for
but to say that Americans or Black Americans are only from Africa is like wild.
It's not always true.
Yeah,
most
I know.
of them are from.
But
there are
even the Black Indians, I think they can be traced back to Africa. Yeah.
No.
And now he just said Black Indians can be traced back to Africa. So it's not that we care, but as a Black Indian, I'm not going to let a fucking African who fled to his colonizer's kingdom throw dirt on my lineage. I'm not going to stand for that. I'm not going to let no goddamn bush baby in Europe chasing some flat ass European girls disrespect my culture and my ancestors. No, 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 no. And if you guys have yet to trace your genealogy, if you've yet to trace your family tree and do a thorough search for tribal affiliation, then hit me up. Go to the website, book a consultation, because when we trace our heritage, we find that most of us don't have no African roots.
He's knowledgeable about his information, about the American Indians, and how we change our classification over time and the different types of mounds and different rules from the French, from the British. If you want viable information, you want to really find out who in your lineage and who are the people you come from, I suggest going with Mike TV. His prices are affordable. He's not like some of these other people out here. I urge, go with Mike TV.
Yeah. Even if like, see, I just want to claim everybody. Y'all just claiming everybody. No. So what about Elon Musk? Elon Musk is from Africa, right?
Yeah, he's from South Africa and he's an African.
Yeah. So where's his mutation? Where's his mutation? You don't got one. It's not fair.
He's from, for me personally, I believe that the origin of humanity is basically Africa. Yeah. From the biblical context, the Bible says that God created human beings from where? With the soil.
And here the Africans go with the out of Africa theory that the European created, by the way. It wasn't an African that created a theory that the whole world descends from Africans. Some European anthropologist, eugenicist created that theory. But notice something interesting, guys. These Africans aren't going to Europeans, forcing them to identify as African. Hey, you white man, don't you know your ancestor really came from Africa? So you need to call yourself an African European. No, they're not doing that. They're not going to the Chinaman saying, hey, do you know you guys really descend from us Africans? So you need to identify as African. They're not doing that. But we supposed to be African Americans.
You listen, is the soil white?
I'm not giving. Listen.
Is it white?
I can't get into the Bible. I can't get into the Bible. The Bible says the guy has skin of bronze, hair of wool, and the guy on the picture is completely different. So I'm not getting into the Bible. We don't want to go back and forth with that. But all right. So go to Africa.
Yeah.
I don't see anything dope about going to Africa. It's a full continent. I think that if you want to get landscape, there's plenty of places around the world that have way better landscape, more opportunities, right? If you go to America, you get tons of more opportunities, tons of more unique, colorful people. I understand the pride and the joy, but at the same time, when I look at Africa, I'm like, what's there?
Yeah. So
because you're in London right now, right?
Yeah. Let me put this cross.
Basically, Africa is actually a nice place. Yeah. Africa is a very nice place. Yeah.
Why are you not in Africa then?
Like the people there, like the way they relate to each other, like is it that there's a cordial relationship, like
family oriented?
Family oriented. No restrictions on relationships. Yeah, you can't even get closer to someone without getting an issue.
You out here trying to get the snow bunnies.
No.
He knows.
No, that's not what I meant.
In Africa, everybody you see is a brother. We can always have good chats. I mean, we always available.
Hey guys, riddle me this. Why are Africans always telling us how Africa is a nice place, but they're never living there? They're in America, they're in Europe, they're in China, they're in Canada, talking about Africa's such a cool place. It's not that bad though. Well, then why don't you want to be at home? Oh, you know, a little bit of war, a little bit of famine, a little bit of rape, a little bit of slavery, a little bit of human trafficking, a little bit of genocide, a little bit of biological terrorism, you know, the basics. Not that bad though.
Ourselves to have nice conversations. Whether we know you or we don't know you.
Yeah.
But when I first landed here, what you greet somebody, they don't respond.
Like fuck. And that a lot of restriction on relationship. Like you can't even get close to someone without getting an issue.
Why you keep staring at that girl over there?
I'm not staring at anyone.
He's like, yeah, well, fuck, no relationships.
No, I don't get like everything you do is an issue here.
Yeah.
You try to get close to someone, it's an issue. You try to talk to someone, it's an issue. Like, fuck that.
And apart from that, I think most of the things that are done here, from technology to
no Lord, guys, I don't know if you guys missed that. Let me run that back a little bit.
Like everything you do is an issue here.
Yeah.
You try to get close to someone, it's an issue. You try to talk to someone, it's an issue. Like, fuck that.
And apart from
staring at that girl over there.
You can't even get close to someone without getting an issue.
Why you keep staring at that girl over there?
You hear that, y'all? You hear that? He said, why you keep staring at that girl over there? Why you keep staring? Guys, they worship white folks. He's on a YouTube, he's getting filmed, they doing a street interview, and these Africans can't keep their eyes off the white girls. You know why? Because it's in their DNA. Look at this shit, y'all. Hold up. I'm gonna try to make this nice and big for y'all to see this. Look at this shit. White man didn't sneak into Africa and steal no Africans. Africans worship the white man. Africans was like, oh, you want us to capture our people and give them to you? Word, bet. Look at this shit. They carrying this broad on a wagon, y'all. They carrying this broad on a wagon. Can I zoom in on this? Can y'all see this clearly? We got 1, 2, maybe 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Africans freely under their own fruition carrying this grinning European chick through the bush. White worship. It's as African as fufu and jollof rice. And these images keep on coming. Apparently the white man really liked to be. Oh shit! I haven't seen this one. I have not seen this one yet. God damn it! That why did they have to show me this one? I did not need to see this one, y'all. They giving old boy a piggyback ride. Look at this shit. He giving the European man a piggyback ride. The proud African has a goddamn European on his shoulders, on his back. Hold on, y'all. I got to hyperimpose on this. I got to see if I can make this bigger. Is there any way we can make this image larger? I don't think there is, unfortunately. But, y'all, this is wild. This is baffling. The white worship is on full display. He carrying a full-size white male on his shoulders. Oh, my God. Africans love some white folks. And what I was just saying was that the Europeans really loved being carried in hammocks. Oh yeah, here we go. Here are the hammock photos, y'all. Here are the hammock photos. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Man's is chilling. Like, yeah, I like these Africans. They're like really docile, and I don't know, they just love us because we're white, dude. And they just fucking like give us shit and fucking all their gold and minerals and fucking carry us through the jungle, bro. I mean, these Africans are pretty chill, dude. These Africans are pretty chill. Oh my God. Man's got one leg out. Man's got one leg out. He big chillin'. Africans, you got some explaining to do. You can't find a single fucking photo like this with a native Black American. We don't get down like this. Oh, man's was stretching his leg a little bit, okay? He said, let me kind of stand up and straddle the pole, pose for the picture one time. Oh, Lord, oh, Lord, oh, Lord. Yeah, this look like man's from Jumanji. Old girl got a full hammock bed. Got a shade, little cabana thing popping. Okay. You Africans got some splaining to do. That white worship, y'all. What is it? What is it? I don't ever want to hear nobody complaining about a Black American dating a snow bunny, talking about we idolize white girls, because no, them Africans idolize white people. The most cooning and buffooning Black American NBA player, NFL player, dating all the snow bunnies. Hey, at least he ain't carrying the bra through the jungle on a hammock. There's levels to this shit.
I'm not saying nothing.
He's like, yeah, well, fuck, no relationships. No.
I don't get like everything you do is an issue here.
Yeah.
You try to get close to someone, it's an issue. You try to talk to someone, it's an issue. Like, yeah, fuck.
Apart from that, I think most of the things that are done here, from technology to even things like chocolates and all that, most of the raw resources come from Africa.
Another question
Why not stay closer to the source?
No, hey. No, but all right, if that's the case, everything, all the little details of everything we have comes from Africa.
Yeah.
So my question to you guys is, where is the African chocolate? Where's the African cell phone? If you have all of the minerals, you have everything you need to make the next iPhone, why don't you have one? That's a good question.
Yeah.
Don't be honest. Like, he's like, no, it's because.
The issue is, where is iPhone made?
iPhone's made in China.
The parts are made from different places around the world. So the raw material come from Africa. That's what we got.
But you guys have, like, let's say Congo. Congo is the most richest resources in the world. In Congo. Yeah. But still one of the most poorest countries in the world.
Yeah, I think we have an issue with that. I mean, it could be due to leadership, poor leadership. Yeah.
But at the same time, when I sit down and I meet a lot of Africans, they all say like, "Nah, Africa's amazing. The people are amazing." But why haven't you guys worked together to fix up the situation?
Poor leadership, I think. Yeah, that has gotten us to where we are now. Because if we have good leaders in Africa who think about their people, they could use the raw materials from there to develop it.
Here's something. What's one question you want to ask Black Americans? Good question.
Black.
Yeah. Why won't you come back to Africa and invest?
Because my perspective is,
oh my God, and they always got their hands out on some needy African shit. For $5 a day, you can fund this African village. Hey, this African village needs water. Hey, this African village, stop begging. The first thing he said is, why won't y'all come invest? Not come visit, not come try to see what their culture's about, but come give them fucking money. Invest is a nice way of saying, give us money. We promise you'll make a return on your investment, though. We're not African scammers. We promise.
You guys have a full continent, over 54 countries, and none of you guys can work together to make anything financially sustainable. The most successful country in Africa, besides Nigeria, having the most richest Black man in the world, is South Africa. But that's predominantly dominated by white people, you know? So why come back to a civilization that don't even have their own situation fixed up to? You'll be wasting resources. But you could do the same thing in America and keep building the same community that you already built.
Hey, Yusuf Ali says, thank God I'm not an African. Real talk, the more and more I learn about our culture, the more I thank God every day that I'm a native Black American. I wake up and I thank God every day. We have such a rich culture, a rich legacy. It's like we got a basement beneath our home, and whenever we want to, we can go in that basement and there's a treasure chest and we can just pull out new things. Every time we reach our hands in, we just pulling out new riches. I mean, just yesterday I discovered Kendrick's song off of GNX, his song, you know, if this world was mine, drop it like it's hot. Yep. So I discovered that that was actually a sample, I think, from a Marvin Gaye song called If This World Was Mine. So then for the first time, I get to hear this song, relish on our rich culture, our rich heritage, spanning back centuries. And I'm just like, damn, we're such a talented people. Everybody want to be like us, huh? Everybody want to act like a Black American, just like a Black American, talk like a Black American. Everybody want to get down with the get down. I wonder why. Why are we so influential?
You know? So when I look at Africa, I'm like, what's going on with y'all? Like, there's billions of y'all, a billion of y'all, and y'all still struggling to get it all together. And you have the most resources, the most beautiful land, the most beautiful culture. Why are the politicians messing up everything about your brand? So to go from America to go to Africa, knowing that the system is messed up for each and one of y'all, thus you guys are all in like other countries paying, I can't deal with this shit. I'll go back, but I can't deal with this shit. You know, so it's like, nah. For us to go to America, go to Africa would be losing our position in these higher positions. Would it make sense?
Yeah, sure.
That makes sense, right?
Yeah. But at least come and invest. Come back down and then invest.
So we can get robbed and stolen and
Like that over there.
a lot of people don't want to go to Africa because there were slaves that came from Africa.
For instance, in Ghana, if you are a foreign investor and you want to come there to invest, you are given tax exemption.
Tax exemption.
While citizenship, if you are a citizen there and you want to invest, you will be taxed.
So answer the question. Who got the better ladies? Who got the better ladies? Is it better in Ghana or is it better out here in Europe? We know what he thinks already.
My name's Major Wright. I just got done with my consultation with Mike. If you trying to trace your ancestry, Mike is a good first step to go through. He's going to break it down to you, all 3 steps to get you what you need. And if you want somebody to maybe do the research for you, you pay that price and Mike can help you too. But yes, he will fill you up with knowledge that you never knew and give you all the things like those unanswered questions in your head throughout time. Talk to Mike, man. He's a great dude. I believe in Mike.
Yeah, but that's undoubtedly that is Africa.
Africa?
Yeah, Africa in terms of stature.
Yeah,
He don't believe you. He don't believe you.
Front, we got back. We got everything.
What don't they have out here?
Respect.
They don't got back.
Nah,
They don't got
nah.
No, they don't. I'm telling you. In the UK, they don't got
in
back.
America.
No.
Huh?
You don't.
Nah, what? In America, we got back. We know for having back.
Nah.
We know.
Bro, we're talking about Africa here. I've listened the ladies from South Africa ladies, Tanzania ladies, Zambia, Zimbabwe ladies, how they look, how they are stature.
All right, hold on then. Fine. Then I need a C because we need a C because you're talking about America. We got the baddies. We got some baddies in America.
Yeah, you do. But most of the people you're talking about can also be traced back to Africa.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me see if it's recorded.
All right. Is America safe to live?
Yes.
You have your peace of mind?
Yes.
Because a lot of time we hear bad news.
Why is your African ass asking us if America is safe to live in? Do we have peace of mind when you're the one who had to flee your homeland to come to Europe? We're not the ones that are moving to Europe in mass. We're fine in our home. We ain't trying to leave. If I never get a passport, if I never visit anything that is not a state or U.S. territory, I would still be content. I would still have lived a great life. We have so much going for ourselves over here. But you got the nerve, you got the audacity to ask us if our country is safe when you're fleeing from yours. Got little kids hyped up on drugs with AKs, butchering villages and shit. And you gonna ask us if it's safe over here?
In the news, like in a school, somebody can pick a gun, go to a school and then shoot. I mean,
That happens in Africa as well.
no,
What?
No,
Yes, they do.
no.
You have whole wars happening in Africa.
we don't
Yes,
do that.
Congo is in a whole war right now. It's
In
not.
Ghana,
Yes, it
we
is.
don't have that in Ghana.
Not in Ghana. You have a whole place dedicated to slavery in Ghana. A whole place.
No, that was
All right, hold on. You say is America safe because you see a lot of different stuff, right?
Yeah.
This country was built over stealing, killing, and everything, and you're here. This whole country's history.
It's not
right?
like that anymore.
What? The Queen just died. The Queen still holds control over a lot of your countries.
Yeah.
You know, so this is the most dangerous place in Europe right now. This is.
No, yes.
Let me tell you some truth. In the United Kingdoms, they built up a business. These people are one of the leading people in the slave trade from Africa to the UK. So you're in the home of the people who profited.
They colonized America.
Yeah,
This people.
but then they lost. They got kicked out. They got kicked out.
And they colonized yo African asses as well. You guys were business partners with European. You guys ran a nice little racket called the transatlantic slave trade. You were equal partners. And then after the Europeans were done using you, they started to colonize pieces of Africa. Had a nice little Berlin conference. But I guess Africans don't understand their own history, huh?
Ghana, we kick them out. Yeah, we kick them out.
I don't know about that. No, I don't know about that. It sounds good. I'm just saying.
We kick them because we have republic now.
All right.
Republic, then they got no shit in your business.
But yeah, America's safe. Like it's free. No. It's free. It's a real world.
See,
that's real life. You can die.
Yeah, everybody can die.
But you want to know something?
The rate in the US is quite high.
US is so huge. One of us.
Bro, he's telling us the rate of the Africans are saying the shooting rates in the United States are too high when they have genocide every week in Africa. Whole villages getting lit up with AK-47s, bombed and all kinds of shit. And he's going to tell us the rate is what? Huh?
States is bigger than this country.
Yeah.
So like, what do we like? We have 50 states. They can all be countries. So it's a huge place. People die. That's what happens in the world. It's a real world. It's realistic. Here, you don't even have freedom of speech. You can't say whatever you want here. It's true. In America, you can. I can tell the cops and the police, fuck off, forget you, I don't care. I can tell the government and the president, I don't like you, you're bald, you orange, all that stuff. You can't say that. You will get locked up. They can lock you up for anything here. In America, they can't. So which one is more safe? I'd rather live in a real reality than live in a fake reality.
But I think for me, as human beings, life is the most important thing. So if you're living in an environment like this here, since I've been here, I think this is one of the safest places that you can.
Just mind your business.
But you want to know something? All right, so how about this?
Of that nature. So I think this is the
Can we
best
talk about
place
history?
to live.
Let's talk about history. In Germany, they had the Nazis, right? Everybody felt safe until they started kicking through people's doors, saying, "Don't move, we're taking you," and that. In America, they can't do that. The government can't touch us unless, and if they do, they can. But if they do, we have the right to defend ourselves. We have the right to defend ourselves, but from anybody foreign or domestic. Out here, you don't. If the government wants to walk in your house right now and grab you out, you're out. They can't do that in America. I'd rather be 50-50, fair. It's me against everybody else. No, it's okay.
You have a point. Yeah, you have a point.
So I'm in the real jungle. You're from Africa, but I'm in the real jungle. You know? So yeah. What any question you want to ask Americans? You can ask anything, like anything. It doesn't matter. And I'm a Black American, so you can ask me anything. While they think, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Great conversation in the middle of Piccadilly Circus in London. You kind of forgot we was recording, right? Question.
Well, why don't you allow like Africans to go into your country? You know,
why don't we allow Africans?
Moving from Africa to US is real hard thing.
Yeah,
and I don't know why.
Jesus Christ! So the first thing the African asked him is, "Why won't we come to Africa and invest, i.e., give them money?" Now he's like, "Why does your country make it so hard for us to flee into America?" These Africans are just so down bad, just so like, like we all have that family member who's just a leech, who just every time you see them call, they're going to ask for something, they need to borrow some money. Like Africans just always have their hand out. Why can't you come invest in our country? And why can't we flee to your country?
You kind of forgot we was recording, right? Question. Question. Question.
Well, why don't you allow like Africans to go into your country? You know,
Why don't we allow Africans?
moving from Africa to US is real hard thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know why.
Because Africans don't really like Black Americans.
You sure of that?
Yeah.
It's not true.
It is true.
No,
You know it's true. Don't lie.
You need to really defend that.
No. They don't.
We really
They feel like we entitled and we don't know where we come from and we're all ignorant rappers.
Rappers are right.
Why are you laughing then? Why are you laughing then? You think all of us are ghetto and stuff?
like Black Americans are brothers.
Are what?
They are brothers. When we see Black Americans, like we've seen you, we're having the conversation. It's nice meeting you. Though you are from America.
What you want to say Africa? You want to claim so bad you're from Africa. You're from
You see, we are having a nice time together. So it's not like we don't like Black Americans. We like you. You're brothers.
No, you probably like me because I'm a cool person. You know, I'm chill. But
Always like Black Americans.
But also in another thing is comes down to optimization. If Africa, this is just my thought. If Africans have over 2 billion people living there and they still haven't built a successful society, what are they going to do when it comes to America?
No, Africa is not seen as one. We have 54, 55 countries in Africa.
But that's even worse.
We are not together.
54.
So if you classify Africa as we've not been able to, we have different.
Then if that's the case, right? If that's the case, then why do you always refer to Africa as one big thing? It's okay.
No, Africa is not one big thing. We have different countries.
So what?
He caught him. The African admits they have no sense of unity. But then Adonis asked them, well, why do you always refer to Africa as one thing? The African said earlier, why don't we come to Africa and invest? He didn't say, why don't we come to Nigeria? Why don't we go to Ghana? Why don't we go to Sudan? Why don't we go to Morocco? He said Africa, like it was just one big Wakanda. But then on the same breath, they're going to admit, hey, they have no sense of unity. So guys, until Africans can become Pan-African, we don't need to be.
What do you think is the most successful country in Africa?
Ghana.
Ghana? Overnight, you know he lying. You know he lying. Over Nigeria? Over South Africa?
Nigeria, they don't have electricity.
All right, answer this question.
They have to buy generators to survive.
Let me answer this question. Why? Hold on. Go ahead, bro. Keep it moving. Answer this question. Why does all Africans give Nigerians the most shit? Like every African I meet, they always say something bad about Nigeria.
They say
it loud or something.
No, some time ago, Nigeria was better place. Most Ghanaians moved to Nigeria to live their lives there, but they drag Ghanaians out. They drag all the Ghanaians out of the country. But now Nigerians are moving in Ghana. They want to live in Ghana now.
Yeah, back in Ghana, I was in Accra, and I have a lot of friends from Nigeria. Yeah, and most of the businesses in Accra are owned by Nigerians.
Ghanaian currency is better than the Nigerian currency. If you have little Ghanaian cities.
So why are you in London? Why are you not in Ghana?
No, we are not here.
Cities.
We are not here to claim anything. Yeah, we are here to learn. Take it back to Africa.
You're not going back. He's not going back.
They always do this lie. They always claim that they're fleeing to Europe, they're fleeing to America to send money back to Africa or one day return to Africa. No, stop it. Maybe you visit once every few years. Stop it. And Casey, I'd have to disagree with you. Casey says the only time they have unity is when they have anti-Black American views. No, I would wholeheartedly disagree, Casey. I think there's 2 times that they have unity. The first is when they have anti-Black American views, and the second is when they carry in that European in unison, okay? Is when in unison all together now, they carry in the European through the African bush through the swamp and the lakes and the deserts and shit on fucking hammocks. This is some African unity if I've ever seen it. This is some African unity, y'all. Lord, oh Lord, these Africans are being Pan-African when it comes to carrying the white man. This is the only time I've seen them all together now. Let's talk about it, y'all. This is wild. These people have the audacity to try to tell us where we're from? Huh?
Yeah, look at this. Look at this guy. Look, he's not going back.
Why do you think we are not going?
You're not. Look at him.
In fact, I'm waiting for leadership in Africa, specifically in Ghana, to improve.
Look, that's never gonna happen. He knows it.
That's a fact. Yeah,
He's not going.
You're never going. He's not.
I'm going back.
He's say it again.
He's not going back, but I'm going back. I'm going back to Ghana.
Yeah, for vacation.
No, I love to live. I'll be coming here for vacation.
No, you are.
Ghana, I don't have to put on all the.
You know you love it out here. So many opportunities. Great. Do you do stuff like this in Ghana? No.
Yeah. On the street, people are always on the street doing this.
Okay. Look, he's like, nah, he lied.
Oh yeah. Oh, true. I'll be on the street.
All right, last and final question.
I mean, it's just nice having this time with you. That's what I
appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right.
What's your name?
My name is Adonis, like the Greek god.
Yeah. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. All right. Last question. Oh, so last thing I do. All right. Yeah. You remember when you were younger? When you were younger and you didn't really believe in yourself as much as you are now? You weren't really as smart, or you didn't have that many.
Oh, damn. This was always the most awkward part of the video. Adonis asked them if they could like talk to their younger selves or something. And these Africans just aren't very creative. They just kind of lack. Okay. I think community guidelines prohibits me from saying what I really want to say. But let's just say they're not that imaginative.
Friends, and you were a little bit shy and a little insecure. Now that you're older, I want you to look at the camera and give yourself the advice that you wish somebody gave to you when you were younger. You know what I mean? But you're speaking to yourself. Only you know yourself. Only you know how to talk to yourself. So
look at how uncomfortable they just got. Look at how uncomfortable, y'all. They're like, oh, wait, hold on. I have to wait, you want me to have pride? Wait, hold on. You want me to have self-worth? Look at their expressions, y'all. Look at it. I'm gonna mute it and just peep the body language. They're like, oh shit. Oh damn. Interesting. Yeah.
So I want you one by one, grab the mic. Okay, you have to give yourself.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I was having some technical difficulties there. Let me get some fists and feathers in the chat if you can hear me loud, crisp, and clear. Come on.
Be honest.
Start from here.
Nah, you're the most confident.
Okay, all right.
You're not going back to Ghana.
All right.
You're not going back to Ghana. Here, take it.
Can you repeat the question?
It's not a question. You are standing in a younger version of you when you were a child, when you were insecure, you were scared, a little bit shy. You didn't know many people. You didn't have that many friends.
Yeah.
You are older now. Now you have to look at yourself and give yourself advice. You know?
Yeah.
Only you know yourself.
I told you guys it does not compute. They cannot comprehend. They're like, wait, hold on. So I'm gonna pretend that I'm my younger, but I'm older, and I'm gonna give advice to my younger. Wait, what? Huh? It does not compute. This is a high level exercise for them. This is a high IQ exercise for them.
So speak to the younger version of you and give it advice. Be honest, though.
Okay. Wait. Let's stop from here.
Bro, why are they so uncomfortable? You would think he just asked them to freestyle a rap song or to sing the national anthem. Like, why are they so uncomfortable doing this simple, rudimentary exercise? This just highlights their lack of creativity. And no, I don't want to get. Yeah, I don't want to get a community guideline strike. I'll just leave it there.
Ready? Yeah.
Why are you scared?
No, no, I'm not.
I don't know. I don't know why he's scared. Yeah. All right. So any white black guy out there, anything that you're doing, any dream that you're purchasing, give it all of you. Yeah.
Oh shit! Hold on, y'all. I got confused for a second. I said, "Is he speaking African language now, or is he speaking English still?" Thank God Adonis put the subtitles on. Y'all, he's speaking English. I just don't understand why he started becoming like incoherent and mumbling and shit. That was wild.
I don't know why he's scared. Yeah. All right. So any white black guy out there, anything that you're doing, any dream that you're purchasing, give it all of you. Yeah. Although the struggles will come, the challenges will come, but don't give up. Just make sure that you are giving all your best. Keep on holding on to your dreams. One day, I never dreamt of being here today, but here I am today. Yeah. So just keep on your dreams. Just hope for the better. Keep pushing on, and things will get better for you. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
All right. This is Christopher here in London, Leicester Square. Yeah. One thing I would like to say is that keep dreaming. Keep dreaming. Last time when I was young, I told myself that I would live in US. Now here I am. I'm in London.
Guys, and you don't understand, these Africans really want to flee to the United States. The number one destination for these migrants is the United States, but when they can't get in or they don't have enough money, they settle for the UK. So he's like, once I was little and I dreamed I can be the US, but now I'm in London, so it's still white bitches.
Keep dreaming. Keep dreaming. Last time when I was young, I told myself that I would live in US. Now here I am, I'm in London. And I'm still dreaming that I'll live in US one day. So keep dreaming, keep believing in yourself, work hard, and you'll get there. All right.
Bro, I can never imagine living life wishing I lived in a different country. Like having a goal, and my life's goal is to live in a foreign land. I just can't. What?
Yeah. So, for me, I think okay. Yeah. So for me, I think the most important thing that I've come to realize is that our actions do have consequences. Yeah.
Matter of fact, I think the last dude was the same dude who was complaining about how the U.S. makes it so hard to immigrate. He was the one talking about why does your country make it so hard for Africans to come? And then we ask him to say something inspirational, and he's like, "If I had one wish, I could live with you, cosplay, do what you do. I could talk just like you if I had one wish."
Some kind of meaning for this specific phrase. Now you was tripping, dog. You tripping, dog. Yeah. Yeah, boy.
I pay for therapy because my thoughts tear me to keep on breaking me. I pay for tips, they scatter me. I cannot barely sleep, but even I cannot hold on without you.
Yeah. Basically, the Newton's third law to every action there is equal and opposite reaction. So whatever you're doing whatever you're doing today, there are consequences for it. That's nothing free. And
You're doing good. Believe in yourself.
I just do it. I want to. I think. Okay, I'll take it again. I don't think so.
Oh, hello. Yeah, this is Isaac. Growing up, I always wanted to impact the world. I wanted always to share my knowledge with people, learn new things, new culture, and share it. And that is what I'm currently living in now. I'm living in my dream. So what I want to tell you is never give up. Never ever give up in your dreams. Right? One day you're gonna make it. Right?
Okay, let me take it in. I don't know why.
What the Africans are trying to say is, when I was little, I ate bush meat. Now I eat beans and toast. Yes, yes. What the Africans were trying to say is, when I was little, I took showers with cow pee, and now I am in Europe eating European pussy.
Okay. All right. So for me, I think the key thing is I need to instead law that to every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. Our actions do have consequences. Whatever you do, and definitely do have effects in the future. So everything you're doing now matters. Because your future is a sum total of whatever you're doing today. So don't just do things for just doing sake. Do them because that you have a purpose for it. Do it because you intend to achieve something with it. Don't do it because others are doing it. Focus on what works really well for you, and believe in yourself. There's a God inside you. Don't let anybody tell you that you cannot do it. You can do it. Just believe in yourself. Believe in the God inside you, and you get there.
My name is Frances Tuck, and I contacted Mike from Mike TV on YouTube because I wanted to find out about my family's Native American history that I believed existed. Through the research that I was able to do through Mike TV, I was able to find out that our name is indeed on the registry. I had a consultation with Mike today, and because of his advice and the research that he has done, I am now confident that I'm able to find my family's roots in the Native American History database. Thank you, Mike.
Many know about slavery, but few discuss paper genocide. We did not all come from Africa, and most of us have Aboriginal roots that were stripped away due to reclassification and miseducation. As a Native Black American and a member of the Muskogee Creek Nation, I understand the importance of tracing your lineage. If you want to learn how to trace your genealogy and apply for tribal citizenship, send an email to mike@keymediapro.com to schedule a consultation.
They don't want you to remember this. You not no slave, you indigenous. Fuck how they painted them Indians. You went to war with the French and the British men. Quite frankly, you was kings Merovingians. They took the women and men, made them prisoners, raised up the children to worship their images, set up a lab to the genes and they mixed them, and this shit get way deeper than your pigment. What?
You don't have to try to be something you're not. Trying to be something I'm not? Trying to be proud of my African heritage? That's being something I'm not, then fine. My grandmother was a full-blooded Iroquois. I know all of that, Mama. Then know this. I am alive because of the blood of the people who never scraped or begged or apologized for what they were. They asked only one thing of this world: to be allowed be. It broke my heart when you changed your name. I gave you my grandmother's name, a woman who bore 9 children and educated them all, who held off 6 white men with a shotgun when they tried to drag one of her sons off to jail for not knowing his place. And you had to reach into an African dictionary to find a name that would make you proud.
My father was raised in the era when black niggas couldn't claim Native American. Making music would've thought I had help, but the Indians I know wanna be the chief they self.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, smash the like button on the way in. Let me get some fists and feathers in the chat if you can hear me loud, crisp, and clear. Now, today we're going to give these naysayers, these detractors, these contrarian individuals, Africans specifically, we're going to give them a master class on Native Black American history, culture, and customs because everybody wants to know about us. Everybody wants to be like us and talk like us and act like us and flee their African country to come to our ancestral homeland. But guys, it was interesting. I'm very accessible. You guys can always email me, mike@nativebblackancestry.com. Some of you guys email me to book consultations for genealogy. Some people email me links of videos they think I should react to. And one of my loyal viewers, they sent me a link to this video by some ignorant ass African who has a channel called Afro Think Tank. Now, I think this man is a pan goofy, a Black American Pan African, but you know these Pan Africans think they're from Africa, so for all intents and purposes, we'll just refer to old boy as an African. But he made this video called "I Have a Question for Indigenous Black Americans." Apparently, he has some very charged questions, and being that I'm a historian and full-time genealogist and card-carrying member of the Muskogee Creek Nation, I thought, hey, if there's anybody to answer these questions, I guess I got to step up to the plate. Now, I'm not the de facto spokesperson for Indigenous Black Americans. I am an advocate for Indigenous Black Americans, but I can only speak for my people, for my tribe. And yes, this is definitely a grifter. He's definitely trying to make a name for himself, get a lot of clicks and views off of Indigenous Black American being in the title of his video. You know, the video still has to be predicated on us, about us, to get the attraction. But I guess he's got 9 minutes of questions to ask us. But let's see what all this is about. Before we get started, I got to say I am going to be offering a special promotion for those that are viewing this broadcast live and those that will be watching the replay. If you send an email to mike@nativebblackancestry.com with the subject consultation for only $50 instead of the usual rate of $75, I'm going to be offering that for the first 5 people that email me. So go ahead and take advantage of that while the promotion is still running. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the content. Y'all know me as the king of receipts. So when these bush babies come babbling, asking questions about our culture and our customs, well, goddamn it, I guess I gotta hit them with some receipts, eh? Let's go. Shout out to Lester. Lester says, my boy Mike is manny. Stay on the top applying pressure. Oh, Lester must be from the Bay talking like that. He got to be from the Yay area. Come on now. Now, guys, before we even get into this video, hold on, I need some water. I'm about to educate these motherfuckers for free 99, okay? I do paid consultations, hour and a half, 2 hours long, but I'm going to give you the knowledge for the freebie because I'm tired of you Africans speaking greasy. And shout out to Lester. Lester says Fresno. Well, shit, that's closer to the Bay than me. Shit, I'm born and raised in Sacramento, so let's talk about it. But before we even get to the video, there's an interesting comment that's pinned to this video. If you look at his comment section, someone left a comment, and Afro Think Tank decided to pin the comment. So it's the first thing everybody sees. This person said, please, Afro Think Tank, I have been asking them questions as well, but they don't, but they won't or can't answer. So please permit me to add those questions to the list. To my fellow FBA or ADOS, number 1, what was your native language called? Number 2, where are your ancient burial grounds here? Number 3, where are the evidence of your ancient civilization? Number 4, where are your ancient writing and alphabets? Number 5, where are your stone tablets? Number 6, what deities did you worship? Number 7, what were your ancient customs and traditions? Number 8, what ancient system of government did you practice? Number 9, where are your ancient stone carvings? Number 10, where are your wood carvings and monuments depicting your images, your culture, your early life and civilization in America? Number 11, where is the Y'all, I'm too high for this shit. You know, whenever I'm dealing with the Africans, I got to take a dab real quick. Hold on. I got a little bit of wax left. Where's my stick at? Where's my dab tool? Okay, I got it. Shit, I gotta take another fresh dab. These motherfuckers, the audacity, y'all, the audacity. These motherfuckers are doing a Salem witch trial on us. What is your culture? What is your government? What is your this? What is your that? And the funniest part about all this shit is they can't answer this when it comes to their alleged African heritage, right, guys? When it comes to them being Africans or Pan-Africans or wherever the fuck, they can't tell us where their tribe is, their culture is, their carvings are, their stone shit. They can't tell us none of this. But watch how I answer this expeditiously with nothing but facts and receipts. After I take a quick dab, you know. Commercial break. I'm telling you, I'm a full-time historian and genealogist. If I'm going to do this for the freebie, if I'm going to deal with these pen goofies and these African bush babies for the freebie, I got to be a little bit inebriated. It just is what it is, what it's going to be in that regard. I will be back with you momentarily. Oh, yes, much better. Much better. Let's proceed with the bush babble. Shout out to the chat. Christopher says Mike over here blowing. I'm just like, come on, y'all. I gotta get at least a little inebriated if I'm gonna deal with the ignorance. But we're gonna deal with the ignorance, trust and belief. Where were we? Number 10? Number 10, where are your wood carvings and monuments depicting your images, your culture, your early life and civilization in America? Number 11, where is the chronology of your early life in America, followed by progression through early centuries? Number 12, where are your artifacts? Who were the rulers of your lands? And by what title did you refer to them? This is open to any FBA or ADOS to respond. Thanks. All right, guys. Well, you know what? I'm going to have hope. I'm going to have hope that this person, PManLO2R, I'm going to have hope that they are asking these questions in good faith and that they truly want to learn about Native Black American heritage. I'm going to have hope. So as such, providing that we're assuming that they're asking these questions in good faith with good intention, let's go ahead and answer them one by one, shall we? And of course, if any of you guys appreciate me advocating, not speaking for it, but me advocating for Native Black Americans, you know what to do. Hit the Cash App, hit the PayPal, throw 5 on it, slide something in the brown paper bag. But let's go ahead and get into this. And again, before I even answer a single question, the wildest part about this all is that I'm going to answer this shit with ease. I'm well versed on the subject, well knowledgeable. In my spare time, I do nothing but get high and watch documentaries and read historical texts and answer all of this shit is child's play to me. But guess what, guys? Guess what? These Africans think they slick. If you guys are long-term viewers, you know that I've been reacting to an African YouTuber that literally creates videos, courses in a university of teaching Africans how to cosplay as Black Americans and speak like us with hood vernacular, as he puts it. Now we got these bush babies making YouTube videos asking us 1,001 fucking questions about our heritage and our culture. Guys, I have a sneaking suspicion that I'm going to give them too much game. The more that we teach them about us, the more information they have to use to cosplay and grift off of our lineage, our culture. But guys, I'm gonna have hope. And we're gonna hope that this person is asking these questions in good faith. So let's go ahead and answer them in good faith. The first question: what was your native language called? Again, instead of me getting into the nuance of all the many different tribes and cultures and confederacies of Native Black Americans, I'm just going to speak for my people specifically. As far as what my tribe's native language is called, it's called Muskogee. Matter of fact, allow me to greet you in my native tongue. Hische eyo hacho juho jifgodos. What I just said there was hello. My name is Crazy Brave Hawk. The language is Muskogee. We're called the Muskogee Creek people. I've just answered question number 1. Question number 2, where are your ancient burial mounds located? Many places throughout the southeastern United States would be that answer. One specific site that I can highlight is a national historic park in Georgia called the Okmulgee Mounds. We were known to bury our dead in conical mounds, as you can see in these photos. And this is another rendition of that site I mentioned, Okmulgee, located in Georgia. Question number 2 has been answered. Question number 3, where are the evidence of your ancient civilization? Well, goddamn it, I'm a Muskogee Creek Indian. We descend from the Mississippian mound builders. So if I'm gonna give you a quick rundown on what did they say again? The evidence of your ancient civilization. Well, Lord, oh Lord, we're on YouTube. Let's go ahead and show a video, shall we? This is a video that I share with a lot of my clients during those one-on-one genealogy sessions. This goes through the rich legacy and culture of the Mississippian mound builders, also known as the Southeastern Woodland people. But class is in session. Let's get to it. Again, we're going to assume they're asking these questions in good faith, so let's go ahead and answer in good faith.
Brown-skinned people, from very light to the darkest of dark, have existed in the Americas continuously for many thousands of years. Writer Jack Forbes, in his book Africans and Native Americans, said, many, but not all, Native Americans were brown or dark-colored without African ancestry. These brown-skinned people lived here long before the dawn of European civilization and the arrival of the European settlers. When the Europeans arrived to the shores of the United States, they encountered a culture of people that became known as the mound builders. Mound builder is a general term.
And although they call them mound builders, just like she stated, that's a general term. We also built pyramids here in North America. This right here is a pyramid with steps leading up, walls, another platform pyramid base with a house, a pitch roof, and a chimney and a door. So we built advanced civilization, homesteads, cities, suburbs. We lived in houses, not like the Mongoloid immigrants living in teepees.
Referring to the...
All right. Pause the show. We got a live caller in the building. Millie coming from the back to the front.
Just robotics, there's also AI. So when you come into AI now gives you the analytics.
Yo, what's good? Can you hear me?
Because the drones deliver you the imagery.
Hello, can you hear me?
At night give you so they can pinpoint anything.
Hold on, I don't know what was going on there. We got some technical difficulties. Give me just a moment. Millie, let me get a thumbs up if you're ready. Mr. Millie.
Get better. And with time, even more
Hello,
states
can you hear me?
will be able to deploy drones fairly rapidly. Yeah.
I can hear you. Are you able to hear me okay?
Yeah, perfectly.
All right, hold on just a second. I'm having some technical difficulties on my end. Hold on.
All right then.
All right, now we got it worked out. How's it going, Millie? How you been?
Oh, been all right, man. How you been? All right.
I'm staying busy. You know how it is.
Okay, cool. All right. Yeah. Okay. I was just trying to keep track of what you've been up to. Like, I mean, I know, like, I think I said this before, that I thought maybe it'd be better if you focus on the diasporans that are on your team rather than the ones who have a disparaging view of you. Like, I like to consider myself Team FBA or NBA, and I support you guys in everything. So I think also I had a question. because you're saying that you're Native American, would that like undermine your claim to reparations? Because
Hold on real quick, Millie. If you're gonna call in to the live stream, you gotta turn off the TV, have the background music cut down. We got a lot of things going on over there, so if you can clear up the audio for us. And maybe Andre Brown can learn how to click the link and call in. I don't think Andre Brown will call in because that heavy African accent is really gonna give up the cosplay. It's real easy to cosplay as a faceless troll in the chat, but when you gotta call in and we hear that African accent, oh yeah, we know what you are, Bush baby. But let's see if Millie has some of the audio cleared up. Go ahead.
Yeah, yes, yeah. Sorry about that, mate. Yeah, I'll sort this out. I always had a question to ask. Like, I think I must have asked you this before, but it's like, if your stance is that you're native Black Americans, wouldn't that undermine your claim to reparations for slavery? Because it's like saying, okay, there were West Africans, and it was a very small, minute part of your history. So, like, I was just wondering. I'm not trying to be like, smarky or anything like that. I was just always wondering because.
Come on, Millie. You have called into my show plenty of times to where I know you're not trying to be snarky. I know you have innocent intentions. But real quick, before I answer your question, let me address Andre. Andre says, send me the number. There's no number. There's a call-in link that you have to click. The only issue is when I do these vertical live streams, YouTube does not allow the links to be clickable. So, Millie, I'm pretty sure for you to call in, you had to literally just look at this link and just type out each thing in the browser, right?
Yeah, I just clicked it and it took me straight to the page. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wait, did you click it from a computer?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the thing. These links, when you're on a vertical YouTube Shorts live stream or whatever, these links are only clickable on computer. They're not clickable on mobile device. So Andre, if you're on a mobile device, you're gonna have to just go in your browser and type in https:// blah 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 blah. But yeah, I'll go ahead and leave it on the screen. Hopefully that makes it easier for you to call in. But Millie, try to help me understand your question. You're saying, would us acknowledging our Aboriginal roots somehow separate us from our reparations claim?
As in, you're saying you're Native Americans and you don't have any African ancestry, so would that undermine your claim to reparations for slavery? I'm just asking. Right.
Well, first and foremost, I don't know who you've been talking to, but I've never claimed that Black Americans are 100% American Indian with zero African ancestry. Most of us are, but there are some of us who do descend from those 4% of African slaves that were trafficked to North America. And then those slaves assimilated and amalgamated with different Europeans and indigenous communities. So some of us, very few percentage of us, do have some long-standing African roots or African heritage, but the vast majority of us don't. With that cleared up, what I'm not understanding is why you're under the impression that us acknowledging our Aboriginal roots somehow disqualifies us for reparations.
No,
are you
because
under the impression that only Africans were enslaved and that Indians were never enslaved?
I thought that's the story. Like, you thought that it was Native Americans were never enslaved and it was just people taken out of Africa. Because I'm thinking if they had an abundance of people to kidnap in America, then they probably wouldn't need to go to Africa. But it was a very, very lucrative industry, slavery, taking people out of Africa.
Okay, hold on. So you're kind of all over the place. So I want to make sure that your thoughts are coherent so that we can make sure to address them. So again, are you under the impression that only Africans were slave in America?
Yeah, so I thought, yeah.
That's false. I don't know where you heard that. I don't know who told you that, but Africans are not the only ethnic group that were enslaved in North America. The earliest ethnic group to be enslaved in North America were the indigenous communities. They've been enslaved since the Spanish conquistadors, Cristobal Colon, Cortez, De Soto, late 1400s, early 1500s. There was actually a transatlantic Indian slave trade where the Spaniards and other Europeans were taking indigenous people from the southeastern United States and shipping them to the Caribbean, to Europe, to West Africa. So if you're under the impression that only Africans were slaves in North America, that's totally false. Many, many, many American Indians were taken as prisoners of war, miseducated, reclassified, and turned into slaves on their own land.
Okay, then I'll stand subject to correction. That I didn't know. Because remember that book I advertised to you guys on here? Like they said it was the complete opposite. They said that Black Americans are majority African and that they're mixed with Black Indians that probably that when they try to run away, that the Black Indians would embrace them, and like that was what I got from the book. So
And
obviously,
and there is some truth to that. When they say 12.8 million African slaves were trafficked during the transatlantic slave trade, or rather sold by their fellow African to Europeans, that's true. But the vast majority of those slaves did not go to North America. Over 90% went to South America and the Caribbean. Less than 4% went to North America. So those 4%, yes, a lot of them did run away from plantations and mix in with the Aboriginal communities, et cetera, but the vast majority of Black Americans have Aboriginal roots, not African. And it's not even logistically possible for them to ship millions and millions and millions of slaves from Africa to North America. But you know where it is logistically possible for them to ship them to? South America. Why is that? Because it's right by the west coast of Africa. It's right by the, I think they call that the South Equatorial Current that takes you right from West Africa. You go down West Africa a little bit, and then you take a current right over to Brazil. And that's why that was the largest destination of African slaves. Over 90% of the African slaves either went to Brazil, and if not Brazil, the Caribbean. And we see evidence of this to this day. Haven't you heard about the Afro-Latinas and the folks in South America that still eat fufu and jollof rice and do African dances and African spiritual system and stuff?
I've heard that, but I thought that kind of opens up a very much a debate that I really don't want to be part of, where they used to say that who were the better slaves, as in they say that some Caribbeans might say they were the better slaves because they were taken first and all the leftovers were sent to America, and then Americans might say that we were the better slaves. And it's like, I think Farrakhan has chimed in on that. Apparently, that's what John Henry Clark said about him. And I've always tried to avoid that. I used to network with a brother from Trinidad in Brooklyn, and he used to say that a lot of Black Americans used to say that to him. So it's like I always try to sort of steer clear of it because it's like, at the end of the day, you
Yeah, I'm kind of
kidnap
lost.
people.
I don't know what you're referring to. I'm not sure who's saying who's a better slave than who. From a logistical standpoint, if you're going to transport a product, and the longer that you have that product on the road en route to the destination, the higher chance of that product spoiling and being worthless. Well, naturally, logistically speaking, you're going to sell it at the earliest destination, which is the reason why most of them went to South America. The second closest destination is the Caribbean islands, which is why they went there. It wasn't because some slaves were better in certain environments than others. It was logistics. It was trade. It was commerce.
Okay. Oh, one more thing. So I understand that Meghan Markle and Forrest Whitaker, they did an ancestral DNA test, and they found that their ancestry descends from the Igbo land, from the people who actually conquered and enslaved my ancestors. So the story of slavery isn't that cut and dry. Like there are a lot of a lot of things to it that doesn't really make it's not as straightforward as what people make it out to be. Like my ancestors would have been enslaved by theirs. So, but I'm still trying to understand the root of it. But I just know
I
that
don't know anything about that, but I know that DNA testing kits cannot definitively tell you what tribe in Africa you come from. They can guess at it. And then the fine print, it says it's for entertainment purposes only. It says these are approximations. But no, if you want to find out your heritage, you trace genealogy. Genealogy and DNA are two completely separate things. DNA is looking at your blood, your saliva, whatever, and guessing about what region it looks like your blood work or your DNA comes from. Genealogy is about paper trail records.
Okay. Because obviously, being in Africa, we don't necessarily have that much strong of a paper trail.
Paper trail genealogy.
Okay. All right. Because obviously, being African, our paper trail probably goes back 3 generations max. So
being African, you guys started keeping records in like the late 1900s, right? A lot of you guys don't have birth certificates. A lot of you guys all say that your birthday is like January 1st, right? A lot of you guys go to Europe or go to America and you're in your late 40s, but lie and say you're 16 years old so you can play on high school basketball teams and shit, right?
Well, I've heard that, but I think they would do a lot of checks and balances. Like if you're in your 40s and you're playing basketball, your legs would probably give out. So I used to believe that as well, but someone actually, I saw a YouTube video and it said it's almost impossible, like someone to. I mean, I'm sure it does happen. People lower their age because people look at me and say I look young for my age. So how does someone coming from Africa, from the same place as me, looking old for that, who looks old for their age, whereas I look young for my age and I'm born here. So it's always something that always boggles my mind. But yeah,
I see. Andre says, "Can I call in via DuckDuckGo over my phone?" I don't know what DuckDuckGo is. I don't know if that's a web browser. You've got 2 options to call in. You can get on a computer and click the link, or you can go in the browser in your phone and physically type in the URL that you see on the screen. Those are the only ways for you to call in. You can't use your cell phone. There's no phone number. It's a link. It's over the internet. And you got about 5 minutes to call in because after me and Millie are done chopping it up, if you're not here, we're going to get back to the replay. I got some things to take care of. But go ahead, Millie. Any other questions? You were thinking for some reason that us acknowledging our Aboriginal roots somehow would disqualify us for reparations or something like that? What?
Slavery, but obviously I didn't know that. I mean, I always knew that Native Americans were taken as slaves. I remember that, but I thought that they went to Africa because like Africans were, especially Igbos, had greater resilience on the slave ships. Like they literally said, Britain, they used to say, go for the Igbos because they have a lower mortality rate on the slave ships. So yeah, that's one of the things.
You Africans would know more about that since you guys were the ones in partnership with the Europeans to sell your people overseas. So yeah, I don't know which one of the Africans would have been the good ones or the strong ones or none of that. Andre says it's a browser. Yeah, as I said, you would type in that URL into the browser. So doesn't matter if your browser is Chrome. That's really the main one is Google browser, Chrome browser. But what's the other one? What, Firefox? I guess if DuckDuckGo is a browser, I mean, a browser is a browser. I don't think there's certain browsers that don't let you access certain web pages. But Millie, what else is on your mind? I understand you were confused about the reparations thing. Is there anything else that you're seeking?
Oh yeah, because I remember Jane Elliott saying, because I think she kind of snaked on us. So even though she's like, okay, I say us, but obviously, no, I think she did visit the UK once, but she used to be all for it. When they saw what reparations, she said, yeah, for Native Americans. And I thought, okay, well, most Black Americans are Native Americans, so they're being entitled to that route as well. So they're entitled for, since they're Native Americans and because of the transatlantic slave trade, so they're like double whammy.
So I think being that you're an African, especially an African raised in the UK, there's just so much about American history and culture that, for one, you don't understand, and for two, it's kind of impossible for you to understand. Like there's so much nuance, and for you to understand the subtle nuance, you would have to be of the culture. So, for example, I'll try to put it in a way that's not so confusing for you, but you can be Native American and not be indigenous, but indigenous are Native Americans. Does that make sense?
I'm afraid it doesn't. It's completely like my head's spinning in circles. So
exactly. I thought it would be spinning. Do you know the definition of indigenous?
Someone who's like, well, the first people on the land or something.
Yeah. Originating since the earliest points of recorded history, time immemorial. Yeah, exactly. Do you know the definition of native?
I thought I assumed it was the same thing, but stand subject
Nope.
to
If they
correction.
were the same thing, they would be the same word. Different words, different definitions. Might have some similarities, might have some overlap, but nope, different meanings.
Okay, how does native differ from indigen?
Native is just a person who was born in a specific place.
Oh, so that's like saying I'm native to Britain because I was
But you're
born
not
here.
indigenous to Britain, are you? Your people don't originate from Britain, but you're
From
native
Britain.
to Britain. You're born there.
Okay. Oh, okay, I understand. I always thought because when
Hold on, hold
when
on, hold on. So slow down. So again, when it comes to North America, there's the original Aboriginal indigenous people of America, and then there are some immigrants that walked from Asia across the Bering Strait and settled in parts of America and have been here for thousands of years. Those folks are called Native Americans. They're not called indigenous. They're not called Aboriginal. Now, are you starting to see the difference? So,
yeah,
when you say, "Hey, I heard Jane Elliott talking about slavery or talking about reparations to natives," and I'm thinking that, well, Black Americans are natives. Like, why she's talking like these are different groups? Because these are different groups. You can be native and not be indigenous, but if you're indigenous, you're native by default. Now I think you're starting to get it. If we're gonna peel back layers of this onion a little bit further, let me actually share with you some resources here. Check this out. Let me bring some visual representation up here for you. So, perfect example. When it comes to North America, there were really three main ethnic groups of American Indians. Just like Africans, right? Compare a North African to a South African. They look like completely different people, different phenotype, different complexion, different culture, different everything. Right, Millie?
yeah.
You
Oh,
compare
because
how a West African looks to how a East African looks, they could be from different planets, right?
might as well be from
And
different
it's the
planets.
same
Yeah.
thing when you look at the different ethnic groups of the American Indians. You've got the first ethnic group, which are the Anasazi or the Amerindian or the Negro people, who are the oldest, original, largest population. Basically, think of Canada down to the Gulf of Mexico. That was all Black Indian territory. This is where the Aboriginals are. These are where the melanated copper colored Indians are in North America, at least. There also are some in Central America and South America, in the Caribbean. We got the Arawak, the Taino, the Caribs, etc. But in North America, specifically Southeastern United States, these are a separate ethnic group from the Southwestern Plains Indians. Now, the first ethnic group, the Anasazi, in more modern times, we may call them by different tribal names like Cherokee, Choctaw, Wampanoag, Nottoway, Yamansi. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. But
Tomahawk.
colloquially, they descend from the Eastern Woodland people or the Mississippian Mound Builders. And again, these are a completely different people than the second group, which are the Southwestern Plains Indians. The Southwestern Plains Indians, again, we call them Native Americans, we call them Indians, but they're not Aboriginal. They're those immigrants that walked from across the Bering Strait from Mongolia, Siberia, Russia. These are like the Navajo tribe, the Pueblo tribe. They settled in like the California desert, Nevada desert, Arizona desert, parts of the Midwest. These are the Indians that look like this, right?
Oh, I see. I see.
Big difference between an Indian that looks like this and an Indian that looks like this.
I'd imagine so. Yeah.
Huge difference between an Indian that looks like this. I mean, she looks like her mama's Elizabeth Warren and her daddy's Genghis Khan versus an Indian that looks like this.
Also, they're the ones who came from not this one, but the one before. They're the ones who came from
Yes,
Mongolia.
these folks are called Indians. They're called Native Americans, but they're not indigenous. They're not
Right.
Aboriginal. They're indigenous to Asia somewhere. And then
Right.
thousands of years ago, they walked from across the Bering Strait over
And
here.
started slaughtering black.
And these are a totally different ethnic group than the Black Indians we see on the East Coast, down south, southeast, you name it.
Okay, and then the one they
Different
started.
phenotype, right? Different
Yeah.
complexion. Different eyes, different nose, different facial features, different hair textures, different everything. Matter of fact, this image right here, those two images, the one on the left, the one on the right, those images are from a Dutch painter, and those depict the indigenous people of the Caribbean, the Carib Indians. So as you can see, the Caribbean has melanated black folks. The southeastern United States has melanated black folks that have been written about, painted in depictions of the Spaniards since the 1500s. So, you know, there's a big difference between the copper color Aborigines versus these folks who came much, 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 much later.
Okay, because I grew up with Caribbeans who would say that they are African and nothing else, and so I don't know. It is all new for me, so I'm just like I appreciate the lesson you've given me, and you sort of the knowledge you've imparted onto me. I definitely appreciate it, because yeah, certain things I read in books and like I like to, one of the things that we Black Brits, we like to boast about is that we like to say that we know more about Black American history than Black Americans do. That's something that we like to boast about. Like, but the sad reality is that we know more about Black American history than we do
And
about
that's
our own history.
so disgusting. That's so disgusting and distasteful because for one, that's false. But for two, the fact that you're even trying to learn more about another people than they know about themselves, what reason would you have for doing that other than it assisting a lot of you guys with cosplaying as us? Come on, there's a lot of Africans in the UK cosplaying as Black Americans, switching up the accent, switching up how they dress. There's a lot of Africans in Europe and abroad in Canada cosplaying as Black Americans. So when you say in passing, hey, we have a phrase, we know more about Black Americans than they know about themselves, you don't realize how sick in the brain that is.
I mean, obviously,
and again, that's not a personal attack at you. That's just attack at the psyche that fosters that kind of group think.
Yeah, I think we learn about it because we take inspiration. Also, in schools, like in the UK, they don't like to talk about their own history. They only like to talk about America. That's just so we know more about. And we're not going to say we don't want to learn about America because that's like when it comes to fighting against systemic oppression. Like Black Americans are like they're known all over the world as the people who are against like oppression and maltreatment. So everybody takes inspiration from Black Americans. So we're keen to learn about it, but yeah, we kind of like negate the fact that we have a history here in the UK too. So we forget about that.
Yeah, and you guys should work to better your situation instead of trying to get into our mix all the time. But hey, it is what it is, what it's gonna be. And Andre, we've given you plenty of opportunity to call in. I mean, if Millie can figure out how to call in, I'm sure you can too. So your chat privileges are now revoked until you can get it together and call in. Yeah, that Andre guy was very interesting. He was talking about your culture is this and you Black Americans are that. And then as soon as I call him a Hamite, he says, "Oh no, I'm not an African. I'm indigenous. I'm Arawak. I'm yeah."
Oh, he's Caribbean. No. Okay, because I had a feeling he's from the UK because that name rings a bell.
He's a cosplayer. He's a cosplayer.
Okay.
Not a Caribbean. He's a cosplayer. Both start with a C. Different definitions. Come on now, Millie. Am I speaking fast or you listen slow?
I'll take it.
That's Black American saying. It's okay. It just went right over your head. I know it. It's all good. It's all good.
But like I say, I'm not saying we cosplaying as you. Is that we're inspired by you. We look up to you. So that's
I'm not saying you're saying that you guys are cosplaying. I know for a fact you guys are cosplaying because it's my job to know. I'm a content creator. I've done the research for 2+ years now.
I mean, like Cynthia Erivo, yeah, the things that she said was bang out of order, and we in the UK know it was bang out of order because, like, I remember this one comedian was saying, you know, to disrespect, to play a role and disrespect our American cousins. Like, I mean, I know those of us in the UK, we still consider you as family, so it's
Really? You've been around my channel for a while. Do you remember my nickname?
No.
The King of. Come on, Millie. You've been around for so long.
I know, but I ain't been for a while, so
Yeah, no,
that would have.
you have been gone for several months. But no, a nickname that a lot of my audience members call me is the king of receipts. So again, I'm not saying that you're saying that Africans cosplaying us. I'm saying it's a well-known fact, and I have the receipts to back it.
Big video. I'm actually going to teach you how to speak hood. This is part 2. The first phrase is what it do. What it do. That's how you would say it. The emotion of anger. I'm going to give you a couple of phrases that conveys the emotion of anger. Sweet. That's all you is, boy. You sweet. You sweet, boy. What's good? Now in hood, the pronunciation would be what's good. But then if I say, bro, you tripping, dog? My tone and my...
Have you ever seen this man before?
No, it looks like he's just doing it for a bubble. Like I don't. I wouldn't recommend you taking
Whoa,
it.
whoa, 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 whoa! I said, have you seen this man before?
No, it's my first time seeing him.
Do you know where this man is like living, like where he's located, what country he's in?
No, he's probably somewhere in America, and he's
okay. So you're guessing he's probably somewhere in America, and if you were to guess his heritage or his lineage, what would your guess be?
Probably West African.
And why do you guess that he's West African?
Because of the way he looks. He has like a West African look. Like, you know, when you said that how West Africans and East Africans look different, like I'm looking at him, and even though West Africans
his nose, right? His nose.
Yeah, it's almost the same as
So if his nose wasn't so large, if his nose was half the size, would it be more difficult for you to tell where he's from?
Well, I mean, I've seen...
Millie, slow down. It's a yes or no question. Imagine in your mind's eye that his nose was half that size. Would you still be able to easily be like, yeah, that's a West African? Or would you have to think about it for a minute?
I probably wouldn't think he's a West African. Yeah.
If his nose was half the size, what would you then guess that he is? Just based off of his dialect, his accent, his attire, how he's dressed?
Could be mixed. Or I mean, if he has an African accent, then I think maybe he's East African.
Do you hear an African accent?
Yeah, but I would probably
No. When you hear him speak, do you hear an African accent?
When he's trying to connect or trying to give an instruction, I can sense the African undertone.
Damn, you good, Millie. It takes the African to really sense the African. See, he cosplays so good that to some of us Americans, we wouldn't be able to tell the difference. If it wasn't for his super enlarged nose, some of us would even think, oh, this is just a black dude. This is just a black American because he's over here cosplaying. And Mans is not taking a piss. He has a business where he sells flashcards. He has personalized consultations, and he has an online university where he teaches hundreds of thousands of immigrants how to cosplay as Black Americans.
It wasn't cosplay, just to teach them how to assimilate. So
cosplaying and assimilating are synonymous. What's the difference between cosplaying and assimilating? Oh, wait.
No, just to try and respect, show respect to the culture.
No. What is the difference between assimilate and cosplay?
So here in the UK, like the indigents, they like to talk about we want immigrants to come in and assimilate into our society and into our culture, and not like, you know, bring their food, which is probably what makes London such a great place to eat at, is because the people bring their culture. But anyway, so when I say assimilate, it's like they're trying to like sort of blend into your society. What is the difference
between assimilate and cosplay?
Right, assimilate is someone who's just trying to blend in, and as opposed to cosplay is someone who's like impersonating you. I mean, they're very similar, but I wouldn't say that they are synonymous with each other. Like you said, two different words, two different definitions, I guess.
But words can be synonymous, and those words are synonymous. Assimilate, assimilate means what? Ridding yourself of your indigenous culture to fit in and assimilate into whatever the dominant culture around you is. What's the definition of cosplay? Pretending to be something you are not. And matter of fact, let me look up the official definition of cosplay, because I really just rattled that off the top of my head. But if we look up the Oxford, Webster's dictionary, whatever the official shit, Cosplay. Yeah, it's going to be hard if we look up the official definitions, because nowadays that term has kind of been hijacked by all the people that dress up as comic book characters and stuff. But we know within pop culture especially that cosplaying is dressing up or trying to talk like or act like something that you are not. Very, very synonymous with assimilation.
Oh, I can ask you. So, would you say that I'm trying to cosplay as an Anglo-Saxon because of my accent?
Were you born and raised in the UK?
Yeah.
No, I'd say you're a product of your environment. If I was, even though I'm a native Black American, if I was born and raised in China, I would have a Chinese accent, right?
Yeah, and the same way with
I was born and
Africans.
raised in Russia, I would have a Russian accent, right?
Yeah, or like the comedian the comedian Godfrey, who's from my home state in Nigeria, but because he grew up in America, so he's going to. But he tells you straight up, "I'm Nigerian."
And here's the difference for you, Millie. Here's the difference for you. This is where it's not assimilating; it's more cosplaying. This man was not born and raised in the States and just talks like this because it's natural. He was born and raised in Africa, moved over here, and he has to train himself, spend hours perfecting this type of dialect, this type of accent, this type of speech pattern. That's the difference. Wait, Millie. Let that sink in for a moment. If there was an African that was born and raised in America, so they kind of have an American accent, I'm not going to call them a cosplayer. But that's not who his target demographic is. He's selling courses and packages and shit to immigrants who want to come to America and not assimilate, but cosplay or be able to pass for Black Americans. If I moved to the UK right now, I would speak the way I naturally speak. But if I was to move to the UK and I bought a course from Millie on how to talk like a UK Black Brit, and I practice every day how to speak like you guys, Wagwan, man them got hit with the ZK, man's taking a piss, isn't it? Gal them from the ends them, she from Essex, she has a gat, yeah, whatever the fuck, right? That's cosplaying, isn't it, Millie? Why would I do that? Why not just be myself, even though I moved to the UK?
But I think you're just having a bubble. I wouldn't think that you're doing anything serious about it. Like the fact that he has courses.
But then if I turn around and build a business out of it, am I still having a bubble?
I think it's all for comedy. Yeah, I think he's doing it for the lols. I just I could be wrong.
How are you gonna say it's for comedy when he has a business seriously trying to teach people how to speak like my culture? How can you say it's comedy when he's monetizing my cultural dialects?
Well, are you serious? I mean, I suppose
are you serious right now? Here. Let's put it in a different perspective. Since you kind of have rose-colored lenses on because you Africans really believe the lie that somehow most of us are like distant cousins and shit, right? So imagine this. Imagine he was a white boy. Imagine he's a white boy making a video of how to talk hood like gangster rappers, and I'm gonna sell you flashcards and I'm gonna make courses and shit on how you can learn how to talk hood like Black Americans. Then do you see it as a problem?
Oh, I don't want to take his kneecaps out. But
then do you see it as a problem, Millie?
They're two different things. Like
no, it's not two different. No, it's not two different things. A foreigner is a fucking foreigner. To us, it doesn't matter if it's a Mexican doing it, an African doing it, a Jewish person doing it. A foreigner is a foreigner. To you, it may be something different because you feel like us Black Americans are like your long lost cousins and shit. But no, it's not different at all. And the same way that you had a knee-jerk reaction when I said, imagine if it was a white boy, is the same way we feel seeing this African up here monetizing our cultural fucking everything. He's in a do-rag. He got on a chain and a hoodie. It's not just the lingo. It's not just the ebonics. It's everything. Making real money, too. Hey, get to the bag. I ain't hating on nobody's bag, but he's making real money, which is vindicative of two things. For one, This is serious. This ain't no fucking joke. For two, there's a big market for this. There's hundreds of thousands of immigrants out there that have been waiting for a man like this to come along and teach them how to speak like Black Americans. And they call me the king of receipts, so I guess I gotta show you some receipts, right, Millie? If my audience calls me the king of receipts, I would expect that you expect me to show you some receipts. So let me go ahead and share my screen with you. This Tether's channel name is called English with Collins. Yeah, we got an African that goes by Collins. Don't be too surprised, guys. Don't be too surprised. Here we go. English with Collins. Oh, and he published a new video just the other day. Practice, speak like an American. And notice, he doesn't even give us credit. He doesn't even acknowledge us. In those videos, was he speaking like an American or was he speaking like a Black American? Do all Americans talk like this?
Voice completely brings out a different kind of meaning for this specific phrase. Now you was tripping, dog. You tripping, dog. Yeah.
You's tripping, dog. Is that how all Americans speak? Or is that specifically how some Black Americans speak?
Obviously it's not all, but
you wouldn't know. You would know. You're over in the UK. It was a rhetorical question. I'll just fuck with you. I'll just fuck with you. But either way, let me go ahead and share my screen, and let's go to that same video that we were just watching. The one where he's in the he's made so many of these damn videos. The one where he's in the hoodie. He got the do-rag. He got a gray background. Which one was that? Which one? I think all of them start with him in the car. So hold up.
Okay. I've got a do-rag because I'm trying
All
to
of them
look
start with
after
him
my
in the car.
cornrows. But
Hold on. I'm trying to find the exact one. I want to find the exact one. Okay, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. The video. So for one, he's serious as a heart attack. For two, look at how much of a market there is for people to be able to learn how to cosplay my culture. Let's read some of these comments. Bro has a master in hood-ish. Bruh is out here teaching hoodology. The bills ain't that high, gang. The code switching here is undefeated. The way he effortlessly jumps from a hood to standard English is hilarious. He's the doctor of thugonomics. Thank you, Mr. Collins. I have practiced run me my fade in my neighborhood and have lost many of my possessions, but have also made many friends along the way.
you look like I never go by YouTube comments.
Someone says standard English. This video was very useful. Hood English. This shit is dope, homie.
Yeah, see, this is they just doing
Someone
it for
says the fact that he's so serious about teaching this makes this even funnier. This guy is teaching me English better than Duolingo. I love this guy. Here's some other phrases for you. Yo, you cappin' / wildin'. You scary. Stop playing with me. I'm the shit. I put you on. Finna. It's brick. That was dumb good. Nah, I'm good, etc., etc. To which Collins replies, well said. Someone else says, as a non-English speaker, thank you so much, bro. I can finally understand rap. They love our culture so much they will listen to it without even being able to understand our language. That's odd to me. That's strange. So strange. I'm from the US and I'm an English teacher in Spain right now. I'm looking for videos to show different English accents and phrases from around the world and especially the United States. No swearing, descriptive and informative. I think I might use your video to help my students learn some things. So see, someone's giving him a shout out for keeping it PG and not doing no cuss words. I'm a Canadian Chinese nerd from Toronto. I'm going to visit Baltimore and Washington to practice these languages. Hopefully I can enjoy my time there. Damn. So we got a Chinese Canadian who's going to go to Washington or Baltimore, and while they're here, they're going to practice some of these phrases because, you know, that's the thing to do, I guess. I guess this is the new version of tourism, right, Millie? It's not enough to just visit one's country. You also have to pretend to talk like the native folks, right?
For
Is that
all
how
we
it
know,
works?
for all we know, he could be a white person. I never go by YouTube comments. Like whenever they say I'm this person, I'm a such and such, then I usually just assume that they're a white person just cosplaying as that group. I don't trust YouTube for anything. So that's
Come
just
on.
my personal sentiment.
Hey, and we can easily spot when a Black American finally chimes in with a comment, because this person says, "This is insane. The world is literally obsessed with our culture."
Literally, I mean, I definitely agree. I mean, I don't know why Black Americans feel as if people are out to get them, because they, like, I remember, I think Marcel Dixon said, if someone comes up with a new dance on Thursday, the following Tuesday is going to be done all over the world. That's the trendsetters
Millie,
of
here's the difference. It's not
culture.
that you guys are out to get us, is that you're relishing in our culture while not respecting it. Africans are online disrespecting Black Americans, saying we shouldn't get reparations, saying we have identity crises, saying this and saying that. And at the same time, they're taking bits of our culture and running with it. That's the issue. It's not that you guys are some African boogeyman that has it out for us. It's that you guys are over in our neighborhood, over in our house, acting disrespectful. That's it. That's all.
Okay, but you know that I wouldn't appreciate if somebody was disrespecting you, Black Americans. You know, I'd be almost be the first person to jump to your defense. The same way
You're
in
the
the UK.
exception. You're the exception. The exception does not make the rule.
I'm sure that's like me. Okay, if someone was to disrespect Caribbean people, I'd be the first one to jump to their defense. The same way if someone was to disrespect African people,
Look at this.
Caribbean would.
As someone who is from Hong Kong and thousands of miles away from a hood, thank you for teaching me these words.
Well, I don't believe he's from Hong Kong.
Why does someone in Hong Kong and why are you so skeptical? You think this man just lied about being from? I mean, I'll click on his
Yeah.
profile if you want. Here, I'll click on his profile. This looks like a Chinese, a man from Hong Kong. I mean, I don't know why you. I don't know why you doubt people's authenticity. I mean, he got a COVID mask on everything. Okay, man's is definitely Chinese.
Joe Wu seems like a mainland Chinese name. Obviously, he can't distinguish between a Hong Kong and mainland China.
Okay. Stop running defense for your African dude. Okay, so just stop running defense.
I'm not running defense. I'm just saying I never believe in the authenticity of YouTube comments. I just assume that they're all like white trolls.
Oh yes. Every single YouTube comment is a white troll. You're right.
Trust me, because like when I look at the comments about these far right political extremists in England,
And look, these people know what they're doing. This Asian chick comments and says, "But when I speak like this, people would call me blackfishing. I just learned it from this blood." All right. Say no more. Very good content, my friend. New subscriber here. I think that's the Brazilian flag. So the Brazilians want to learn how to talk like us. Thank you. I'm from Senegal and I enjoyed it. Why is someone in fucking Senegal researching how to talk like us? This dude says, "Yo, your channel is exactly what I've been looking for. I'm finna switch up my accent to that American hood vibe to stay on the grind. Love from Nigeria." So we have Nigerians talking about love from Nigeria. I'm going to start switching up to talk like an American. All right. All right. Yeah. Ooh, it gets worse and it'll never get better. Oh, we got Andre in the building finally. Andre, I'm not sure if you want to turn off your camera or if your camera is on purpose. I think I'm looking at bed sheets or something. Andre is coming from the back to the front. And actually, before we bring up Andre, Millie, you know, whenever I bring up new guests, I typically say, where are you calling in from and what's on your mind? And I didn't say that with you because I'm so familiar with you. So for any new watchers out there, any new listeners, let the folks know, where's Millie calling in from?
I'm calling from London, England. So yeah, that's where I'm calling from. So if it wasn't obvious from my accent, but yeah, that's where I'm calling from. I'm Nigerian. I'm Igbo. But I was born and raised in the UK. So yeah, that's where I'm calling in from.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And I got a little bit of a bird brain, but I have to ask you, Millie, Where do all of you Africans in the UK get these do-rags from? Are there like Black American do-rag shops or something? Or like, where are you guys importing them from the States?
I think okay. Well, I bought this one off Amazon, but they do have
No,
shops
you
there.
are importing him. No,
No,
you imported it
but
from Amazon.
they do have shops like usually ran by Indians, and they sell like black products and black hair products and black skin products. So yeah, that's how I think they have in your country it's like Koreans who run it, or in the UK it's like Indians who run these sort of stores and they sell these kind of merchandise. So
Hey, Millie,
yeah.
I'm gonna give you a $1 billion idea. Okay, you're gonna become richer than Willy Wonka over there in Britain. All right, what you do, since you guys kind of want to cosplay us, not kind of, I mean you totally do, but you guys still have to get some kind of sense of pride. But you have no pride in being African. So I've noticed a lot of you guys take pride in being British citizens. So what you should do is go on Alibaba and get you some do-rags created from scratch, straight from the Chinese factory, but get them with the British flag on them. And I bet you that would sell like hotcakes. I bet you would become a cultural trend, and all you Africans in the UK would be wearing do-rags with British flags on them. I bet you would. I bet you.
I think, like, as I told you before, I see myself as a black Brit. So, because the thing is, the problem with us is that even if we go back to our country,
hold up. I got it, Millie. You got to have different selections. You got to have a selection for the fellas, a selection for the ladies. So what you do is you have the do-rag with the British flag, and then you sell bonnets for the ladies that has an image of the Queen.
Oh,
them Africans would buy it. You know, them Africans would buy it. Come on, Millie.
No, I maybe ones in Africa, but who want to. But those of us born and raised here, we wouldn't. We definitely wouldn't. Like unless it's like a different trying to, because like I said, I see myself as a black Brit, as in because for those of us, even if we go back to our country of ethnic origin, we're still seen as tourists anyway, so we don't really have a place to belong. So that's why I say we're black Brits. That way it kind of, so I see a brother, he could be Ghanaian or Jamaican or Trinidadian or Sierra Leonean, but that's still my brother because he's born and raised in the UK. So that's that's who I call as my compatriot. But that's just my personal sentiment. Like I think one time there was a brother from the UK who was of Ghanaian background. I said, I don't know this brother, but I love this brother and I want nothing but success to befall him and his family. And I said, I didn't know him, but because you're from the UK, like I have a natural love for my people in the UK because I know what they probably have to put up with. I know what we have to put up with in this country. So it's like, so yeah, if I could maybe make a Union Jack with like black and white lines, then maybe that might sell. But otherwise, yeah, no one's gonna buy something with a Union Jack because it's just, yeah, no one, especially those of us born here and having to tolerate here. No, that's just not gonna happen.
So is it like a weird lifestyle? Because like you guys are born and raised in the UK, you don't really feel strong ties to Africa, but then the native Britons hate you and don't really want you there. So do you feel like you like don't belong, or is the average African that's born and raised in the UK, is your average life goal to get from the UK to America at some point, or what?
Well, some people, I'd imagine that they, because America is like the golden, like the golden destination, the golden ticket.
We are the King of Kings. We are the holiest of holies. We are the golden throne. We are the white palace. We are the pearl amulet. We are the alpha, the omega, the world leaders, the global dominators.
Like even during the Windrush, like a lot of the Caribbeans were wanting to go to America. So it was like 2 American senators that said only 50 people per island can come to America. That's the only reason why they went to the UK. And even when I was a kid, I went to my cricket club. There was a person, he came from I can't remember what country it was, but he had to fly to New York. He went to JFK Airport and he saw some cunt with armed to the teeth with guns, and he was like 10 years old. And he was holding a gun in front of a 10-year-old. And that was just to make sure that he didn't try to run and stay in America. So it's such as the case. Like I said, like someone, Malcolm X said that if we can't go seeking acceptance elsewhere, if we don't accept ourselves. So I accept myself as someone who's of African origin, born and raised in the UK. I think that's a different kind of twist. And I felt I accept my fellow melanated people who are born and raised in the UK because we should share a similar experience on that front. So
now imagine this. Imagine this. Your parents were born in Africa, right?
Yeah.
Well, imagine, just theoretically speaking, let's say your parents were born and raised in the UK. Your grandparents were born and raised in the UK. Your great-great-grandparents were born and raised in the UK. Matter of fact, let's say you can trace your family tree to the UK to the 1400s. Matter of fact, let's take it a step further. Let's say you know for a fact your ancestors have lived in the UK since the 1400s, and your family members have passed down stories to each and every living descendant that you guys are aboriginal to the UK. So imagine the scenario here. You and your family going back generations are native to the UK. Your great-grandma, your great-great-grandma's story, they always told everybody, hey, you guys know that you're aboriginal to the UK, but the white ruling elites, the British crown, the monarchy, says, no, you guys are from Africa. And at one point in time, there was, some Africans that did come over to the UK. Let's say there was something similar to a Windrush generation. Let's say there was like an African Windrush, and we knew at a certain point in time they shipped in some Africans to come work in the UK. So that is true, but it was only a few of them that came. And your family told you you're Aboriginal, and you can trace your heritage to at least the 1400s. But the ruling elite, the British monarchy, who just recently enslaved your ancestors and didn't give them any rights, and racist people rioted and picketed and lynched people and did all this crazy stuff. I mean, if this was the scenario that you were faced with, Millie, who would you believe? Would you believe the version of history that your oppressor tells you? Or would you believe the version of history that you can trace and that your ancestors have passed down from generation to generation?
I wish it's not that straightforward because I'm just trying to imagine I'm indigenous to this place, and it's just like, I'm just trying to put myself in that scenario, and it's just very difficult because we're treated differently because we're not indigenous to these islands, and even if we were, we're
no. Slow down. You're not treated that way just because you're not indigenous to these islands. You're treated that way because the ruling elite are racist, right? It's not that they hate you because you haven't lived in the UK long enough. They hate you because you have African heritage. And 500 years from now, do you think your ancestors will be more accepted by the British ruling elite? Or do you think they'll still be, discriminated against because of that African origin?
I remember one time I went to Paris and I was talking to this Moroccan, and he said something very similar. He said, we could be in France for 500 years and we'll still never be considered French. And I'm thinking that's just totally blown me away because they flipping won you 2 World Cups and stuff like that. And they still don't accept you. I was like, yeah, it's virtually the same thing in the UK. It's like, we'll never be accepted. And yeah, it's just, hey, it's what it is. Like I said, I'm not looking for acceptance. I'd rather accept, like Malcolm X said, you accept yourself and then you kind of embrace yourself. Once I embrace myself, then I embrace people who are like me, people who look like me. So that's just my walk of life.
Well, in actuality, if we're going to take it a step further, and again, I'm going to say something that's not aimed at you at all. It was so hard for you to follow along, and not even follow along. You followed along, but it was so hard for you to comprehend, and not even comprehend, because you can comprehend, but it was so hard for you to imagine, for you to really put yourself in that mental space to imagine that hypothetical scenario, because Africans, in my experience, by and large, lack the same type of creativity that we have on this side of the globe. What I mean by that is we couldn't even really get to your answer. We couldn't even get to you imagining that, your family could be traced to the 1400s. They said they're Aboriginal. They were enslaved and subjugated. The ruling elite says you're from Africa, though. I mean, we can't even get to what your conclusion would be in that hypothetical, because you can't even fathom that possibility because of the way your brain works. And in reality, let's call a spade a spade. The Aboriginal people of Europe had to have been black, right? Or dark skin or melanated, right? Europe is right by Africa, right? You're telling
Oh
me
yeah,
the
yeah.
indigenous people of Europe weren't black or copper or dark skin or didn't have melanin? You're telling me the pale skin, blonde hair, blue eyed people are the indigenous people of Europe? I don't think so.
No, of course not. We know that, but it's just like for me, it's just like, you know what, you can have Europe, like you can have England.
This is
'Cause
who they say the oldest man from Europe is. They call him Cheddar Man, right?
yeah, but
Lived
there's people.
10,000 years ago. He looked closer to an African to me than he does to the modern day European.
Yeah, but they're
And let's
still
and let's
like.
and let's remove the African misnomer and just say a melanated man. So again, let's see if we can at least get an answer out of you, okay? Just imagine the hypothetical scenario. You know, your family told you you're indigenous. You know, your roots are going back for generations. You know, the ruling elite hates you. They're racist. They're xenophobic. They want you dead. They want you gone. Who are you going to believe, your oppressor or your ancestors?
Yeah, I'd believe my ancestors on that front. So
But what?
yeah, that's the thing. It's just like I said, it's kind of, it's hard to sort of imagine because the history of this country, very much like America, that we're treated differently because of the color of our skin. So it's hard for us to sort of say, okay, imagine in that frame of us being indigenous to these islands, because it's like our experience is based on the color of our skin. So
I guess it's harder for you because people in the UK don't speak about the indigenous people of the UK, but people in America speak about the indigenous people, and we know how they were slaughtered and forced on reservations and reclassified and all this stuff. So we know that our governmental powers will subjugate the indigenous people. It doesn't matter. Whereas with you guys, you don't really know how the ruling monarchy, how the ruling elite would treat the indigenous people, because the indigenous people don't really exist anymore, right?
yeah, that's the thing. England was founded by invasions from all over Europe. That's
Exactly. So,
why.
so the ancient Aboriginal Britain or whatever was this melanated man, Cheddar Man. His family, his tribe, his community was also most likely melanated, but through eons and eons and eons, or not even eons. I guess they say he lived 10,000 years ago. So through thousands of years, you know, they get taken over, subjugated. Foreigners move in, immigrants come in. Those immigrants live there for thousands of years. So now they're the new, you know, natives, and then a new warring European tribe comes in, and then, you know, it's all these territorial disputes, familial disputes, right?
Yeah, yeah, I'd imagine so. Yeah. Because like I think something that Professor Black Truth said is that we're always arguing about being right, and we know we're right, whereas our oppressors they don't care about being right or wrong. They just want to they fight for staying on top and on top of everybody. So it's like we have to park. Like I say, reparations. Yes, that's a known fact that black people are entitled to reparations. That's the right thing to say, but our opponents they just care about staying on top. They don't care about being right or wrong, so they'll say anything to sort of get themselves out of it, and it's almost comical. But yeah, that's just my personal belief and sentiment.
Mm-hmm. I feel you. Yeah, that kind of did put things in a different perspective for me, because Europe has been enslaved, colonized, recolonized, infiltrated, invaded for thousands of years, whereas my ancestral homeland really just got invaded within the last 500 years.
But I
600
think,
years?
but didn't they like have like squabbles before, like there were wars all over the world, but I think didn't like, because I remember watching this movie and this white man comes and he's saying, oh, didn't you Native Americans, you kill each other, you did this, you did, so you want to complain about us doing.
White propaganda.
Yeah,
I know exactly
I
what you're
thought something
talking
like.
about. It's supposed to be the like military colonel who goes to the native chief and is like, "You guys aren't peaceful. You kill each other, so you're hypocrites." Propaganda, Millie. It's propaganda.
I'd imagine. I knew he was full of BS when he was talking it, but yeah, I just thanks for the confirmation.
We had conflicts with different tribes, just like any indigenous people have had conflicts with other tribes. Guess what? We've never had world wars, global conquest. We've never tried to take over the whole fucking world. But the Europeans have been trying that for how many thousands of years? Asians as well. Genghis Khan gave it a try. Alexander gave it a try. Caesar gave it a try. We over here, we stick to our own. Maybe we have a territorial dispute here, a tribal dispute there, but for the most part, we live in equilibrium with one another, with our environment, with nature. We ain't beefing like that. Y'all over there, holy wars, 100-year wars, 1,000-year crusades.
Which was actually 116 years with the 100-year war. It was actually 116 years. Yeah, I just saw his.
Yeah.
So I put that correction there, but yeah, it's.
So again, I had to take a step back and realize, your land has been divided, subjugated, conquered, and I say your land because you are a native Briton. You're born there. You have some kind of stake to the soil. Even though there is a weird thing where they don't really give you guys citizenship, right? Like you're a citizen, but you're not like a full citizen.
Like, so in America, because if you're born there, you automatically become a citizen. Whereas in the UK, even if you're born there, it doesn't promise you citizenship. You still have to apply. Obviously, if your parent is a citizen, then you automatically become a citizen. But if your parent's not a citizen, you still got to jump through hoops of fire. So I didn't become a British citizen until I was like 1.5, 2 years old. So that's
so basically, in the UK, they don't have birthright citizenship.
No, they don't have it anywhere in Europe. Like if you're born anywhere.
Well, and then also in Europe, even if you get your citizenship, are you still deportable?
I think in Switzerland you are. Like, say if one of your children commits a crime, then your whole family can be deported or something to that effect.
Damn. Yeah, that's different dynamic. But as I was saying, you guys have been having your wars, your conflicts, your genocides, your massacres for thousands of years. Meanwhile, we were fine over here living in paradise until 500 years ago. Millie, the Spaniards, the Spanish conquistador Europeans didn't really start coming over here until Cristobal Colon, 1492. It's 2025. That's 533 years ago. That's not very long, is it?
No, not at all. It's that's one of the things that was boggles my mind. Like, that's what we say here in the UK. It's like, that one of our sayings is, "We are here because you were there." That's just one of our. That's one of the.
Whoa! Help me understand that saying. You were here. We are here because you were there. What's that?
Yeah, as in whenever someone wants to be hostile towards our presence here in the UK, we just remind them we are only here because you went. We only come here because you went there. So,
like if you didn't come to my country colonizing us, then we wouldn't now come to your country seeking better opportunities, type shit.
Literally, that's literally a story. I mean, I was watching some documentary about black people in Germany, and they referred to us and said that in the UK they actually have a saying, and we are here because you were there. So it's kind of famous all over Europe. Like, people kind of take that saying because it makes sense. It's like, but to intelligent people that should be the winning argument, but we're not dealing with intelligent people, unfortunately. They say all sorts of nonsense.
Unfortunately not. Yeah. And shout out to Temple of the Light Sage. Oh, yeah. If you get deep in the research, you know that it's still the same ruling elitist Masonic families that are pulling all the strings, whether we're talking about who pulls the strings with the modern government of America or Europe or Asia, Australia, Russia. I mean, you name it. I mean, it's all having the strings pulled by the same people, regardless of who the new president is or the new prime minister or a new senator here, a new governor there. Same folks behind the scenes.
But then there's people who they don't care that there's people ruling them. As long as they're on top of us, then they don't really mind things being the way they are, because it's like, it's been like that even before we came here, and it's like it's only when melanated people came here that changes really started happening. It's just like, I just kind of come to learn that they only like it. They don't mind being subjugated by their government so long as they're on top of us. So it's a sad shame, but
yeah. Oh, and I almost forgot, we got Andre backstage. Give me just a moment, guys. I got to throw my phone on the charger real quick. We are going to cut to a quick commercial break for like 30 seconds. Right once we come back, we're going to bring Andre up, see where he's calling in from, see what he has to say. But
I think I've got to cut now because I didn't even I lost track of. I think I've lost track of time. It's like 20-1 over here, so it's like you've definitely kept me energized. I'm probably gonna conk out like as soon as I get off the lappy.
But above all else, from your time here today, I want you to understand from the Native Black American's perspective, that guy Collins is not making a joke. He's being serious and he's monetizing, bastardizing, and denigrating my culture. That's the issue. If I had a course teaching people how to talk like a Nigerian and I'm not fucking Nigerian, do you see the issue? Do you see the issue?
So long as it weren't Will Smith, because he can't do a Nigerian accent for love nor money. But yeah, if you were to do it, I think I'd probably find it funny. So I wouldn't, just like I'd find this guy, he's a total muppet. I'd find just like I find him funny. If you were to do something,
I understand, and I don't expect you to grasp the gravity of the situation because you are not cut from the same cloth. Culturally speaking, you know, if you came from my culture, if you came from my heritage, I wouldn't even have to explain this to you. You would already know why it's a no-go, why it's not cool. You would already know. But it's all good, Millie.
Okay.
But next time you call in, I got to see you rocking a do-rag with the British flag.
Oh, please don't do that.
All right. We'll see you later, Millie. Thanks for calling in, brother.
I know, bro.
All right. And we're going to cut to a quick commercial break, and then we're going to bring up Andre. Give me just a moment, guys. I'll be right back.
Finished my consultation with Mike. A lot of information in a short period of time, but it was very valuable information. I'm definitely excited to get started searching up my genealogy. He has been an awesome resource. Gave me a lot of information, a lot of things, a lot of pieces to the puzzle I didn't have. He was able to help me find them. And I 100% recommend Mike and his services to anyone who's looking to crack the code, so to speak, on their genealogy, because there's a lot of how we say fake news going around with this subject, and it's very important that people are able to put the pieces together, because if you don't know your history, you don't know your future. So 100% sign up.
All right. And I'm back. Coming from the back to the front is Andre. Andre, where you calling in from and what's on your mind?
Can you hear me?
Yep, go for it, Andre.
All right, Hotep Martin built all the folks listening. Now, I'm not mad at you at your delineation, because I'm not mad at you for wanting to delineate yourself from other Black folks. You know, because all white folks don't consider.
Hold on just a second, Andre. Just a second. I just asked if you can repeat what you just said. I don't know if the line was breaking up, but I just couldn't understand the first thing that you said. You said Hotep something? Are you still there, Andre? Oh, you know what? I see you just joined with a different one. Let me drop down this Andre and bring up the other Andre. Okay,
No.
Oh. So what did you say in the beginning? Was Hotep what?
Hotep Martin built. Mean peace, balance, and build. Okay.
That was Ma'in built?
Ma'at.
Oh, you said my. Oh, now I hear you clearly. So you said Hotep Ma'at.
Ma'at, not Mayat. Ma'at.
Ma'at. Is that like M-A''AT?
Yeah, exactly. That's how it's pronounced in English. Yes.
Okay, I got you. Sorry for interrupting. You have the floor.
Yeah, I have no problem with you. I don't even know where y'all want to call yourself foundational to this country anyway. But I have no problem with your delineation.
Well, what do you call yourself, Andre? Because I thought you claimed that you were Black American or Native American or something.
No, I'm a force. According to y'all tether explanation, I'm a forced tether. I'm from the United States Virgin Islands. You know, America took us over. You know, gave us our citizenship, etc. My family been coming to America pre-Civil War. My family has been in New York City specifically from since like the 1860s, 1870s.
Wait, hold
So
on.
all the
Just a
book,
moment. Just a moment. I'm not too familiar with the Virgin Islands. How far is that from like St. Barnabas, Haiti,
St. Bart. I don't
Jamaica?
know. I don't. You mean St. Bart's?
I've always seen it spelled
Let
like
me see. Okay.
Barnabas, Barnabas.
Well, I've never heard of St. Barnabas. I heard of St. Bart's. But okay, we're like, you know what you've heard of Puerto Rico, right? Have you heard of Puerto Rico? Don't tell me this thing is messing up again. It's going good with tourism. The Virgin Islands is just south of Puerto Rico. Hello? Oh shit. What is wrong with this thing? Boy, the devil. The devil is a lie, boy. Why can't I even hear, dude? This is funny.
All right, and I'm back. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I think we got to wrap up this broadcast. I'm dealing with some technical difficulties. Sorry to Andre. Andre, if you are able to click the link and call back in, I am now on my phone. So, we can chop it up without any of the technical difficulties. But if Andre doesn't call back in the next few minutes, we'll just go ahead and wrap up this broadcast. We need to get a new internet service provider or something. I'm telling you. They just came out and installed a new box, and they still giving me tech issues. I'm like, damn, I need a hard line into the Ethernet or something. This is not gonna work. This is not gonna work. But Andre, where you at? You still in the building, Andre? Earth to Andre. That's so unfortunate because we were really just getting into the meat and potatoes. He was talking about he's from the Virgin Islands. I finally pulled up the Virgin Islands on the map. We're seeing where it is. Apparently, it's kind of off the coast of Puerto Rico. But yeah, I guess I'll just have to hope and pray that that Andre calls back in one of these days. Andre, come back, Andre. Shout out to New Era. See you in the chat, New Era. But all right, I guess we'll just wrap up. See you guys next time. Stay vigilant. Peace.